Alright, looks like that did it. Can you see or hear me today, everybody? I certainly hope so. Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Lenina and Petrodactylus. Wonderful. Well, welcome, everybody, back to Paleontologizing. I'm glad you're here. Welcome, welcome to wild and beautiful Wyoming today. We've been having some crazy weather lately. It was really, really cold last night, right after we ended the stream. It got down to like freezing. And, yeah, now it's getting back up into the 60s. So, it's almost like we're out here in the desert, you know? Wild temperature swings day to night. Who'd have thought? Anyway, welcome. If it's your first time here, let me introduce myself real quick. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and I'm out here in beautiful, arid Wyoming digging dinosaurs. This is day 18 of our fieldwork here in Wyoming. We're going until the end of the month. Probably the 28th might be our last day of digging, actually. And I'm at a site right now digging up a ceratopsian dinosaur, a horned dinosaur. Much like, if you're familiar with Triceratops, think like Triceratops, but earlier in time. We don't actually know what kind of dinosaur this is in particular, the genus or species, because it is very likely new. So you heard that right. We are pretty sure we're digging up a brand new dinosaur here. That's exactly what we would expect digging here in Wyoming's Almond Formation, because there are 0 dinosaurs that have been named from this particular formation. So chances are anything that we find probably will be new. Stands a very, very good shot of that. And what we know about not just the age of the rocks and, you know, how understudied they are, but also the morphology of this particular animal so far, the shape of the different bones that we have discovered thus far, seem to indicate that it's also new. It doesn't look like any ceratopsians that I'm familiar with. We won't fully know until we get it back to the laboratory and get it cleaned and prepped. But, yeah, very, very good shot that this is a brand new critter. So, I'm glad you're here. We're going to go up there and do some digging in just a minute. But if you've got any questions at all, do not hesitate to ask them. It's the whole point of these broadcasts, is to do some science outreach, to not just tell you what it's like to dig up dinosaurs, not just tell you, you know, how we know what we know about dinosaurs and their ancient environment and the history of life on Earth in general. I want to show you. That's why we're here. And, yeah, don't be shy with those questions. Thank you, Sculpin, for those gift subs. I really appreciate that. Holy cow. Excellent. Yeah. And let's see. Arle, good to see you too. Arle, I forgot to wish you a happy Father's Day the other day. What was that, 2 days ago? Sorry, I don't think I streamed on that day. It was a busy day. We had some vehicle issues and, yeah, not with my vehicle, thankfully. But one of the big diesel trucks got stuck. And that set us back by a couple hours that day. Sunday was kind of crazy. But yeah. And let's see, we're here to learn, Cody Shibi? Thank you. Yeah, anyway, Dad, I hope you had a good Father's Day. Sorry I missed it, but yeah, I was thinking about you, though, throughout the day. Yeah, Sculpin, thank you again for those gift subs. That is wonderful. And High Potential's got a question already. Where is usually the appropriate place to publish works like this that are entirely unique? So in a scientific journal. So, you know, in science, we've got these publications, these scientific journals where we publish what we call scientific papers that are peer-reviewed. That means that other scientists have looked them over, made sure that everything seems on the up and up. Peer review is a huge part of science, and we'll probably be talking about that in a little bit, because I've got Matt Lamanna up there on the hill, and we're going to be talking with him. And are there common journals better for completely novel stuff than others in your field? There are certain journals, what we call high-impact journals, that get read more often. They're more prestigious, or at least they used to be. I don't know. In the age of the internet's kind of a great equalizer with stuff like this. It used to be like they were physical journals, like a physical magazine, periodical type of deal, and you'd subscribe to it, and then, you know, you'd read it. Nowadays, all this stuff is transmitted online, so it doesn't really matter that much what journal it's in. It's mostly just a rah-rah prestige kind of a thing, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm very anti-credentialist about this kind of thing, as you well know, Chan. And Yeah. Can you estimate the age of the specimen? We don't know yet, Gravity, no. It doesn't seem to be a juvenile, but, you know, hopefully we get some limb bones out of this and we can cut them, do some histology. Yeah. Impact factor and yada yada. There you go, Anakin Gabriel, yeah. But yeah. And let's see. Are the reviewers also paleontologists? Asked Rilo Rolo. Yeah. So in order to get something peer-reviewed, you need to have somebody who knows a thing or two about the subject matter. So sometimes with certain journals, the policies differ. You can actually request particular reviewers and be like, hey, I want this person or that person. They know this field pretty well. They're an expert on this particular subject. But sometimes those, reviewers are not available. All of this stuff is all on a volunteer basis. We don't get paid to do any of this. It's just work we have to do for free. Hours and hours and hours of it just to try and be good scientific citizens, Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we as scientists are expected to do completely for free. Whether it's media appearances, whether it's doing, reviewing for a journal, whether it's, outreach oftentimes. Most of this stuff we're expected to just kind of do it for free. Whereas people in other professions, would get paid to do it. Yeah. Can you guess the fossil LC today in Isis Ford, Queensland? I don't know, Dinosaur Dave, what is it? Yeah. And the snow dens, that's exactly what I'm doing here. Not just paleontology on Twitch, field paleontology on Twitch. We are digging up a brand new dinosaur today. And what we think is going to be a brand new dinosaur. So I'm glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, snow dens. Yeah. And Quinn the Fossil Man, how are you doing, Quinn? I miss you too. Did Ethan get back to you? Did he find your envelope? Yeah. I hope so. It's good to see you, Quinn. We miss you. Let me show you what's going on at the site right now. Go up here past our solar station and our satellite dish, which is the reason I can stream to you right now. The reason we've got internet here. Yeah. And Tsukyu says peer review is free. That's a little messed up. Honestly, yeah. Although there's some who would argue that if you do it for free, then it is not an incentive for financial corruption or anything. But honestly, you can't make people work for free, Not like that. A lot of these journals have got a lot of money. But yeah. Anyway, Quinn is in the chat right now, guys.
Nice. Go Bills.
What's that?
Go Bills.
We've got your Buffalo Bills hat, by the way, Quinn. It's in the bed of Ethan's truck. But yeah, here's our parietal jacket. So we're working on pedestaling it right now, and hopefully before the end of today's stream we can flip it, start thinning it down, maybe even get a bottom jacket on it. Yeah. So yeah, good stuff. And joined just like yesterday by Nick right here.
Hello.
You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Nicholas Hornacek. I am a master's student at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and I volunteer at the Paleo Lab at Carnegie Museum of Natural History.
Nice. So Nick was working on this same critter, the parts of it that we got last year, and now we've come back. We've got a full excavation permit, so we can knock down a bunch more rock. And now he's out here collecting it with us, which is awesome. Then we got Matt. Yeah.
Hi guys. I'm Matt Lamanna. I'm the dinosaur curator at the Carnegie Museum of Natural History, and I probably have sunscreen on my nose because I just put some on. Okay, cool. Special thanks to the extra people that followed me on Instagram yesterday as a result of the stream. I just looked.
Let's do another shout out later on when we've got more than 221 viewers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do a special thanks for those 7 people that did a follow request.
Oh,
very
nice.
Very nice.
Yeah. But yeah. Ava Little says, hi, Matt. Yeah.
Hi. That's Abe or Ave? Ava or Ave?
Ava Little, yeah.
Hi, Ava.
EVA?
Yeah.
Oh, do you know her?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Well, we do now. Great.
Yeah, I know you now, Ava.
Awesome. Yeah. We are really lucky to have Matt here. He is legitimately a big shot. I know he doesn't carry himself that way, but absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, if you guys could just finish digging this up, I'm going to go drink a beer.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. It's always when you don't expect it.
Where's the water break?
Where should I put the camera down? Oh, and thank you, Sculpin, for 5 more gift subs. Really appreciate that. That is exquisite. Thank you kindly. Yeah, good stuff. Let's see. I might kind of put it back up where it was yesterday. That seemed to work pretty well, but I don't know. We could also try right there.
Yeah, good. Right there.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a little dodgy, I think.
Yeah.
Just because I got to get rid of that rock down there.
Maybe I'll try to stick it like to the left of that shovel handle.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You think that'd be okay?
I think so, and you might flip to, switch. Well, you know this better than me, but I think you said the top view worked really well from when we were flipping it, or when we were jacketing it yesterday.
It did, actually, yeah. Maybe I'll do that again, and then we'll have all 3 of us in the frame. I'll try that, yeah. Yeah. Let's give it a shot. Alright, hold on, chat. Gonna put you up there.
Did you tell Chad about or Chathu, as I like to refer to them, about the ridiculous weather last night?
Yeah. It got down to probably below freezing last night, I would imagine.
It was probably close, yeah.
We got a little bit of grapple, too. That, kind of halfway between rain and hail and snow. Halfway between 3 points. Yeah. That was something. Is anyone in chat familiar with grapple? I know we talked all about that in Montana. There was a neat map that I saw one time that was put together by folks at slate.com, but it was like I think it was the most prominent word, unique word for each US state. And there's not a lot going on in Montana, so that one was graupel. Graupel. It's a weather phenomenon. It's like tiny little pellets of ice that are rounder and softer than hail and smaller than hail. Graupel. Yeah. But yeah. Anywho. And no, not Janine Garofalo, PJNO. Or what?
You said or Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's actually what they said. I was just joking.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there were I was just talking about that map that I saw that time that was it was the most prominent and unique word from each US state.
Oh.
And for Montana it was graupel. But a lot of them were they were kind of reaching with the Montana one. But what do you think it would be for Pennsylvania? It was yins. That's exactly
really?
what it was.
Yeah.
Or maybe yinzer.
Yinzer.
Nat.
And that.
Is that one word or 2?
It's N apostrophe at.
Yeah.
There's a restaurant called Peppers and At that I go to. Pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure we'd still call that hail, says there. It's not necessarily a Montana thing specifically. It is actually a weather term. So meteorologists will be familiar with it. I think it's more or less a technical term, graupel. But it is, I don't know. They were really reaching to come up with one for Montana, I suppose. There's not a lot of local slang there.
There's fewer people to choose from than most other states.
That's very true. Let me put a rock over this, just to shield it from the sun a little. Here. There we go, that's better. Nice. How's the view there, chat?
I'm like a sea of blue.
Here, I can look at my own self here. My channel. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I dig that. All right. Cool. Let me get back to work. Excellent. Please excuse my attire today, chat. It was wickedly cold this morning, and I've put long pants on, uncharacteristically of me. And now it's too hot for long pants, so rather than cutting off the legs with a knife, I figured I'd just roll them up. I really don't want to ruin these pants. It's their first field season, so I don't feel justified in destroying them just yet. It's also too early in the season for that. Yeah. And there you go, Sculpin. Yeah, with a technical explanation of grapple. Beautiful. And woobirds. Yeah, so right now, for anybody wondering, anybody who's kind of new to this big white thing is the protective cocoon, what we call a field jacket that we've put around this big ceratopsian bone right here. So this is kind of the upper right corner of the frill of a horned dinosaur. Think like Triceratops, or if you know your dinosaurs a little bit better, think Pentaceratops. This is a critter that's probably a close relative, we're guessing. But we'll figure out its particular affinities after we get it back to the laboratory and get it cleaned. And Nick very well might be working on this particular specimen once we're done.
I hope so.
Yeah. But I'm gonna attack some of this, because this is kind of getting in the way of us reaching under and being able to pedestal there, so and the heavy artillery here.
I find the paleo pick hard to get used to because it's not a rock hammer and it's not a pick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I'm used to like the bigger picks and the smaller rock hammers.
Huh.
I'm used to like having to like the long swing with the slide your hand down as you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I mean, you can do that
I know,
if it's
I
like
see.
an overhand. If it's like when we're doing this, I'll be doing a lot of that.
okay.
With
Yeah.
the, you know, this hand sliding.
Yeah, I can see you doing it instinctively.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
But
just it's a different. Yeah. It's
I've got like thousands of hours of muscle
Okay.
memory on these.
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
This
yeah,
is
I
our
have-
tool of choice
I
with
have
MOR.
0. Yeah.
I know some of the older guys really don't like these newer blue geopaleo picks because they have a cylindrical handle. The old ones it was like laterally pinched,
Oh, okay.
and they really like those better. So like Don DeBlue and Jim Kirkland, they don't like these new ones. But this
Okay.
is what I was trained on, so
Cool.
yeah, I love them. The right hands, one of these things can move mountains.
Get Paul Bunyan.
Yeah.
And for those that might not be aware of this, we think that we're pretty far down below the bone layer, which is why we're digging a little bit faster and more,
Exactly.
a little bit less carefully than we were yesterday, because we want to get this thing out so we can keep going.
Yeah, we've got 11 days of work left here, and we'd love to be able to cut into this hill and find some more bones of the skull of this animal. We want a pre-maxilla. That's our like, you know, shoot for the moon kind of goal here. And Ava Little says, wow, they've made some massive progress getting under the bones since last stream. You betcha. Yeah, we're not just out here twiddling our thumbs.
No, we do that too, though.
Mostly we do that in camp, hopefully.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Not to say that there isn't a lot of work to be done around camp as well.
Keeping the tents together with the wind.
And
Yeah.
chores and cooking and cleaning.
And incidentally, Danny here is a rock star when it comes to that stuff. Keeping camp in order and making sure everybody's got what they need.
I've just been really lucky that like I've been sleeping really well, and so I get up pretty early, earlier than anybody else. So like I might as well get busy and do stuff around camp.
This is gonna sound like I'm an excuse, and it is, but I'm actually often awake really early, but I don't want to disturb my wife who's still asleep.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wake up around 5:40ish.
Yeah,
Go
that's
back to
just,
sleep.
that's around the same for me. It took me a while to get to sleep last night, though.
I can understand all that
Yes,
wind.
Yeah.
Were you cold too?
At first, maybe a little.
Yeah.
I discovered on this trip that my zipper on my sleeping bag is broken, so
Oh,
I
shoot.
should use it like a quilt.
You don't get that nice seal to keep the heat in?
Nope. But I usually am pretty, like, hot as a sleeper anyway, so...
Oh, yeah.
I went to buy a a sleeping pad at Walmart, but I accidentally bought a sleeping bag insulator. I
Oh,
really don't
really?
know how I didn't, catch that.
Uh-huh.
So I guess if you need one,
Okay.
you just bend over.
Okay.
Yeah, with 15% interest compounding.
50%. Maybe some royalties on that. I don't know.
Finder's fee.
Yeah, buyer's fee.
And like a Triceratops, this dinosaur did not eat meat, right? Asked Huberts. Presumably, yeah. Although
it would be a very special ceratopsid if it did. So there's many species, dozens of species of these animals known, and as far as we know, they all ate plants.
yeah. Although Mark Whitten's got that nice illustration of that Styracosaurus chowing down on a dead Tyrannosaur. Have you seen that?
I think I've heard about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is true that some animals that are normally, herbivorous will take animal protein once in a while. Like
Yeah.
I've heard of white-tailed deer eating meat occasionally.
Cows, hippos.
Hippos don't surprise me in the least. Those
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
They might do that just,
for fun.
to make a point.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this thing tastes terrible, but at least I killed the guy. There's a big block here that I could totally take out, but I'm afraid it might be the tipping point. So
Mm.
I don't think so, but I'm not
Can I take one?
not gonna chance it. Yeah. So like this whole, those two blocks right
Oh,
there,
yeah, yeah.
they're ready to go.
Okay.
But I'm afraid that it's gonna make the thing too imbalanced, so I haven't been taking them.
I wonder, 'cause we were talking about maybe putting another strip along this side back here.
Should we do that sooner rather than later, you think?
We'll need to carve it in a little bit, I think, to give ourselves more of an overhang.
All right, well, let me get in there and I can
you
do
don't mind,
that
yeah.
with a hammer. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. The more we dig at something like this, kind of the harder it gets to place everybody. Because we're all just in here cheek by jowl.
Yeah, I don't want to get in your way
Yeah.
as of now.
I'll work for a little while and then I'll
Yeah, you
get out of your way. You can work. And I can walk around with the camera for a bit and we can kind of switch off like that.
Alright.
If that sounds good to you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Cool. And we pad it before flipping it. We have put an extra layer over the top, at least one extra layer. And we'll put some burlap or something down there just to cushion it a little bit when we do the flip. But hopefully it's just one smooth, fluid motion. And it's not going to be like, bam! It's not going to bounce. We're just going to ease it over and set it down. That's a textbook flip. That's how you do it. And Astro Banshee says, Matt had mentioned the bone layer. So all the bones will be on the same horizontal plane? More or less. It can be pretty thick.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We're, I think for the sake of expediency, we're imagining the bone layer to be about a foot thick. And right now I'm below it, but that doesn't necessarily mean, there couldn't be bone, in what we're digging. And we're just trying to keep an eye out as we do it.
I've worked at sites before where the bones are actually like in 3D in life position,
Oh,
like
yeah,
the animal
me too.
got mired
Yeah,
or something else I can't talk about yet, unpublished. But
oh, that's cool. Oh, okay.
it does happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I keep forgetting to tell
I
you
know.
about this?
Yeah.
off
No.
screen,
Now
but
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I can talk about this. In the Dreadnoughtus quarry, one of the two individuals I think was mired because one of the femur was upright. It was vertical.
Shoot.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of digging. The suckers
was.
are like 6 feet long. Right?
Yeah. This was shorter. This is the paratype's femur, but it was
okay.
pretty distorted too because of all the, just weird pressure it would take from being buried in that orientation. But yeah, sometimes you find sauropod dinosaur feet articulated, which you very rarely do, and sometimes there's not much more of the animal preserved. And in those cases, they may in some cases be mires where the animal got stuck in mud and died there.
Even with 4-wheel drive.
Yep.
Still happens sometimes.
4-leg drive.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, sauropods had pretty narrow feet, though, and hands, I guess.
Yeah.
They're not adapted for, like...
Especially hands, yeah.
Yeah, for living in swamps and stuff. Contra what used to be thought, the old conventional wisdom.
Yeah, although I would say, I have this kind of hunch that some sauropods are a little more aquatically inclined than others. Like some of the really stockily, heavily built titanosaurs, like Nemegtosaurus / Episcocaudia, Diamantinosaurus, some of the Saltosaurians from South America, I think could be our long missing sauropod hippo analogs potentially. Yeah. I don't really have any good evidence for that other than a gut feeling, but yeah, I've thought about it for a long time.
They are certainly thick and wide.
They are. They're the torso, the trunk is built like a hippo in a lot of ways.
Is Episcocaudia from the Namek, like Dinochirus?
Yes, it is.
Because that seems to be an animal that's partly adapted for like living in marshes and stuff. It would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I don't have anything really to point to it other than a general similarity, and also just the fact that it's weird that there aren't many dinosaurs, big herbivorous dinosaurs that have, not many or maybe none that have taken the hippo niche,
Would you be interested ever in publishing a real quick paper about that?
What, the lack of aquatic dinosaurs?
No, the hippo hypothesis. Just getting that idea out there into the literature.
I would have to be pretty far down my priority list, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, would you want to be a co-author on something like that? Because that's right up my alley.
I would say if you take it and run with it, just stick me in the acknowledgments. Seriously.
Really?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I'd need a co-author probably.
Okay. Well, it'd be
single authorships are often suspect.
Yeah. Well, you guys heard it here first.
Yeah. Don't scoop me on that, chat.
I wouldn't mind being in the acknowledgments for just being here.
Yeah?
Listening.
Nick Hornacek was a witness to this idea?
I was a witness. No.
We can put the whole chat on there.
All 7,000.
Well, that is a thing where anybody who contributed $100 or more to our fundraiser for fieldwork last summer, they're getting into the acknowledgments too.
Oh, that's cool.
For
that's
like
awesome.
just about any paper that we publish here from the Almanac.
That's awesome.
Is it just going to be their username or?
Unless they like their real name, we'll default to username. Yeah.
Thank you, One Hot Mama, for.
Yeah.
Did you say One Hot Mama?
Yeah.
Well, that was it Colin's mom?
Yeah.
What was her username?
One Hot Mama.
One Hot Realtor or something like that.
Yeah, it was Colin's mom.
Yeah. She had a good sense of humor.
Wasn't my mama.
I feel like I know that. That username sounds really familiar to me.
Yeah. Sound like billboards around Pittsburgh?
No, I don't think so. Like I feel anyway.
Like a realtor company or something?
No, I want to say like.
Definitely not my mom.
Okay, your mom's a realtor too, isn't she?
Perchance.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Is that too much personal information for the stream?
No, she's actually a manager now. She no
okay.
longer sells houses.
Now people will track down Nick because they have enough information.
Well, and yeah, I mean, earlier you were listing off your social security number.
Yeah, and my...
Made an AI song out of that.
That's a great...
And my credit card information.
Really great idea.
Digits on the back, expiration month and year. Quick,
did you
John
include the
Wick
3-digit security code? Because that's important.
Your high school mascot and then name of your first pet.
Quick, John Wick needs your help. In order to secure the victory royale at Tilted Towers, he needs your mom's credit card information.
Is this a Fortnite commercial?
3 digits on the back, expiration month and year. But hurry.
Hey kids, send a picture of your mom's credit card.
Battle Royal. Butchered that, but that's how it goes.
In order to get a decent flip here, we might have to take this down as well.
I mean, that's easy.
Yeah.
Nick, do you want to?
Yeah, you want to run
that? Room for you to do that.
Let me do that then.
Cool.
Yeah. Here
and
I caught myself. Okay.
After the fact.
No, I didn't. I said the first 3 words.
And how's the dig going? It's going well. It was, speaking of temperature, it was very cold this morning. Like, if it had started raining, it would have turned to snow cold, I think, probably. But it has since warmed up. It's in like the mid-60s now, I presume.
Yeah,
You want me to go?
Too hot for long pants for me, so.
You want me to go by the nail here, or just a little bit after, like here?
Oh, just over here.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe use the rock hammer though, just because
Okay. Yeah.
we've got people's heads and butts pretty close.
You know, that's pretty smart. I didn't think
Thanks.
about that.
Yeah.
I don't want to, you know.
I prefer not to have to drive anybody to hospital.
And I prefer to not have to drive Danny to the hospital.
Thank you.
Let's go die in a horror movie. You warned me about it. I'm like, stupid old man. Don't tell me what to do.
That's great. Yeah, that's your role.
Don't warn us about crocodiles. Let's get them.
Let's go.
Yeah. Multiple points during the field season, I always find myself scratch digging like a sauropod.
Yeah.
Making a nest.
I was thinking more like a chicken part. Yeah.
That's a dinosaur too.
Yeah.
And are you guys reapplying sunscreen? Says
I just did.
Irish X Lily.
I just did.
I probably should, but
I did a little bit before lunchtime, so I'm good.
I don't know. I did put some on my arms this morning. Yeah. I've reached the point in the summer where, like, I seem to be incapable of burning, but the skin does just kind of peel after a while.
I just sweat sunscreen at this point.
There you go. Yeah, you drink enough of it, and
Yeah.
yeah, just start to excrete it like a hippo.
More like a horned lizard from your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's such a big jacket, we'd be able to flip it with just 3 people. The idea
Good
is,
question.
yeah, we narrow it down to like such a narrow stem that, like, you know, a beetle can kick it over. We want to be real careful about this particular
I once knew
specimen because it's real important. What's that?
I once knew a Hymenoptera.
But which beetle, though?
It's not
you
a
know?
beetle.
I know.
George, Paul, John, Ringo.
The 5th.
Yeah. Yoko.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite beetle.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if there's a coleoptera named after Yoko. There should be.
I agree.
Well, does it ever occur to you that you hit another bone while utilizing the pickaxes, Celeste? That's kind of a nightmare. Yeah.
It's happened.
It's
Not here.
not unheard of,
Yeah.
but
We're professionals.
yeah.
I'm a professional.
Occasionally you get more than one bone layer. So, like this quarry that I'm going to be working later in the summer, Mirasaurus, the type specimen for that, came out of that same hole. And then underneath it is just this giant bone bed of iguanodontians from earlier in time.
And for those that don't know, Mirasaurus is a sauropod, so a long-necked, long-tailed, plant-eating dinosaur.
And that one was mired too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
That almost sounds like they named it that. Mirasaurus.
Right. I forget what it actually means. It's M-I-E-R, a
Yep.
saurus.
Yep.
The Aturiasaur.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the ceratopsian, Ms. Blue Skies. What was the climate like when this dinosaur was alive? Nicer than today, I'll say that. This dinosaur wouldn't have had to contend with freezing temperatures at night like we got last night, or at least close to freezing. Now, when this animal was alive about 73 million years ago. Oh, Matt, why don't you talk about this? I've been yammering on and on.
Okay. Yeah, so when this animal was alive, it was about 73 million years ago in more or less this very spot. The environment would be, if I could snap my fingers and go back in time, I would have lush vegetation all around me. I'd actually be standing probably knee deep in the muck of an oxbow lake or a pond or something, some small body of really kind of still, maybe even potentially stagnant Climate would be kind of warm and humid. Maybe the general appearance is something like the Louisiana Bayou, potentially. So warm, humid, lots and lots of flowering plants, aka angiosperms. They were really diverse by this time, and we actually have just over the hill, we have another site that's yielding lots and lots of leaves of flowering plants. So we know for a fact that this dinosaur would have encountered them, and lots of different kinds of them at that. And also, there would have been other kinds of dinosaurs in the fauna. We don't know very much about most of the others yet, but there definitely is at least one hadrosaur, duck-billed dinosaur. So you can envision, you know, again, if you're envisioning me standing knee deep in muck, you can imagine maybe a hadrosaur over there grazing by the bank, maybe a few of them, because we know that many species were social. And then, of course, stalking these animals would be predatory dinosaurs, theropod dinosaurs. So very probably relatives, kind of think of it like the great uncle of a T-Rex, potentially something like that. Probably armored dinosaurs, ankylosaurs. Those are plant eating, so they wouldn't have, really, this dinosaur wouldn't have had much to fear from them. And probably a whole host of other small predatory dinosaurs like dromaeosaurids, aka raptors, oviraptorosaurs. If anybody is familiar with Oviraptor itself is a famous one. And then
Anzu.
I was going to say a few people might know the one that some friends and I named in 2014, Anzu Wiley-Eye, aka the chicken from hell. Probably also things like troodontids, these dinosaurs that may have been unusually intelligent for dinosaurs. I'm trying to think what other kinds of ornithomimids, so ostrich mimic dinosaurs, these sort of ostrich-like probable plant eaters. And yeah, so hopefully that gives you a sense of what it would be like. So think like the Louisiana Bayou, except populated with dinosaurs.
Yeah. So yeah, very different from today. Sea level back then. We're like 6,500, 7,000 feet in the air today. Elevation was not like that back then. What a difference 73 million years can make.
Yeah, that's a long time. I could barely make it through a year.
And how do they know the dinosaurs were intelligent? Asked Ava Little.
Well, we don't know for sure, I guess, and that's the answer for a lot of things about dinosaur biology. But we can make pretty decent speculations because people have studied the brain itself of troodontids and other dinosaurs doesn't fossilize, or at least we don't think so. But we know from looking at crocodiles and birds, so basically a lot of what we don't know about dinosaurs, a lot of what doesn't fossilize, we infer from their closest living relatives, which are crocodiles on one side and birds on the other. And a lot of you guys probably know that birds are thought to be descended from dinosaurs. Together, crocs and birds form what's called the extant phylogenetic bracket, or EPB, of dinosaurs. And because we don't want to say extant phylogenetic bracket over and over again. And so basically the premise goes, if you find something in both of those groups, it's pretty likely it was present in non-avian dinosaurs as well. And one of the things that we know about crocs, both crocs and birds, is that the brain, the skull, the cavity in which the brain sits, called the endocranial cavity, is a pretty good reflection of the anatomy of the brain itself. So we don't have the brain of troodontid or we don't have the brain of troodontids or any other non-avian dinosaurs probably. But we do have the endocranial cavities for these dinosaurs, so we can study the negative space that the brain would have filled. And in doing that, we find that the brain of troodontids was proportionally bigger than in many other dinosaurs. And there's more subtleties to it than that as well. I think it was a little bit more like that of modern birds than most non-avian dinosaur brains. But yeah, but in a nutshell, troodontids had a proportionally big brain for their body size, and that's one of the reasons why we think they were among the smartest dinosaurs that we know about.
Not only that, but the people don't think of dinosaurs generally as being intelligent, but they were more than intelligent enough to be able to survive and thrive. I guess they were as intelligent as they needed to be to survive and thrive for 180 million years or whatever.
Right, that's a really good point. Is when I say intelligent, I don't mean like doing complex calculus or sending dinosaurs to the moon or anything like that. I mean like, as intelligent as, say, many modern birds are.
Yeah. And probably, I would imagine, smarter than the mammals that lived at the time too.
Quite possibly, at least in some cases, sure.
So it could very well be that like dinosaurs were the most intelligent, whatever that means, animals in their given environment. So yeah.
There's a really hard block of mudstone back here that's a pain to break.
Shoot. Do you want to use this? I'll break it up.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Danny, how far back should I go here?
Maybe a little bit further than that. Another 10 inches or so. If that's cool with you. And then maybe we'll take this down a little bit deeper once you got that moved.
Yep.
This will start to rebound and it'll crack and get easier. It's funny, we're talking about troodontids, and there's another one of these memes in the paleontologizing community where I was watching a video one time. It was like this clickbait, like top 10 weirdest looking dinosaurs, and not, you know, the gal tried her best, and you know.
Yeah, but they're things that we would call kind of garden variety a lot of the time.
Yeah. And number 8 was troodon.
Oh yeah, that's really weird looking.
And, but she didn't pronounce it troodon.
Like Troodon or something, or
not Troodon?
Troodon?
Not Troodon. Tridoon. And I almost fell out of my chair laughing, like I almost passed out. And so it just became this. Yeah, so we grabbed the soundbite from that, and now it's just a thing.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. BDM TVP says, is there a pivotal moment from your experience that sparked your interest in paleontology? And I guess this is a question for the group. I can start off real quick. I don't remember a particular moment. I always remember being interested in dinosaurs from the time I was my earliest memories. My parents like to joke sometimes that I decided I wanted to become a dinosaur paleontologist the same day I realized I couldn't grow up to be a dinosaur. So it's been a lifelong thing for me. No particular origin story there, I guess. Yeah. What about you, Nick?
I saw Jurassic Park when I was 3 years old, and I was hooked ever since. I just grew, and grew to love dinosaurs and the science behind it, and stuck with it.
Nice.
Since 3 years old.
That persistence is important.
Yep.
Especially if you don't want to make a lot of money in life.
Yep. I just love it. I love the science behind it.
Yeah. What about you, Matt?
Well, I'm kind of similar to you, Danny, although I think so yeah, I mean, I've been a dinosaur nerd my whole life. As far as I can, to my, some of my first memories. I mean, my parents tell me I wanted to be I told them I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was 4. So Nick has me beat by a year. Yeah, and I don't have like a one moment thing either. It just was kind of the accumulation of experiences, I think. I can't remember any one particular moment.
It was a chronic condition that turned terminal.
Yeah. I can remember what got me interested in southern hemisphere dinosaurs, and that's my primary research interest to this day, even though I'm standing in Wyoming right now. When I was a kid, growing up in the 80s, there was a magazine called Discover magazine that still exists. You can still buy it. It's a science magazine that that still you can get in the grocery store or subscribe to it or whatever.
What's it again?
Discover.
Oh yeah. They've had some really good dinosaurs.
Yeah. So in 1987, I remember thinking that I knew every dinosaur there was to know, except until Discover did a story on new dinosaur discoveries. And many of these had to do with kind of the biology of dinosaurs. Back then it was a new idea, or a pretty new idea, that dinosaurs took care of their young, for instance, or roamed in herds, things like that. There was even some speculation at the time that we now know to be not true, that sauropod dinosaurs gave live birth, and that's actually the cover illustration, or not the cover illustration, but the first illustration in the article itself. Huh. But among these, and I still have this to this day, I have my copy of Discover magazine from 1987. There was a 2-page spread in the middle of the article that just had little black and white line drawings of recently discovered dinosaurs. So you're talking dinosaurs that were discovered in the mid-80s. And on one page, there's basically one page of this magazine can sum up my whole professional career as a dinosaur paleontologist. It had Carnotaurus, so this horned abelosaurid on one side, and an ankylosaur from Antarctica on the other side. And for those that know me, they'll know that if I'm known for anything, it's probably for Patagonian and or Egyptian and Antarctic dinosaurs. So I'm interested in dinosaurs from the southern hemisphere.
It's taken longer than expected, but we're working at it.
So that I mean, I remember having Carnotaurus staring me back in the face. It looked like a T-Rex with horns on its head. It looked like looking at a demon or a monster. And that really captivated me and kind of opened my eyes to whole worlds of dinosaurs in the southern hemisphere that back then we knew almost nothing about, and now we know more about, but we're still finding new discoveries left and right. So some friends and I actually just named a what's called an Unenlahin, a small feathered predatory dinosaur from Patagonia, just this past Friday. So new discoveries are coming out all the time.
Nice. So it's out now?
It is out, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What's the...
I wish... I've never heard it spoken.
Yeah.
And I don't speak...
You can spell it.
It's spelled D-I-U-Q-I-N, and I think it's something like Diukin or Diuchin. And it's an indigenous... it's from an indigenous Patagonian language. It means bird of prey. Now, don't get your hopes up because we only have like 4 bones of the thing, and it was kind of debatable as to whether we should name it, but it seemed to be different than all the other relatives of its group that we were studying. So we felt like we were justified in giving it a name, but like many other dinosaurs, we wish we had a lot more of it to ultimately test whether it was new and ideally learn a lot more about the animal. So we're still working in some of the same rocks, so hopefully a better specimen of this dinosaur will turn up at some point.
Unenlahians are like, is Osteoraptor a...
Yeah. So this is my working in South American influence, but I pronounce this group Unenlahians.
Right.
And I can't get out of that habit even if it's wrong. I don't know. But
Tomato, potato.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But this is a fairly recently recognized group of Southern Hemisphere, or at least probably all Southern Hemisphere paravian theropods. So in other words, theropod dinosaurs, so in other words, predatory dinosaurs that are very close to being birds, but not quite birds themselves. And many people think that they're a subgroup of the raptors, quote unquote, the dromaeosaurids. Mm-hmm. Others in South America disagree, and so sometimes they use a different terminology. But regardless of what these things are, they're really closely related to birds. They were undoubtedly feathered. And like some of the most famous ones include Austroraptor, this giant southern hemisphere Unenlahin, and Buitreraptor as well.
Yeah.
Also, some of you guys may have heard of Rahonavis, this thing from Madagascar that may have been able to fly, at least in a rudimentary way. At least glide, maybe, potentially. That animal is probably also an Unenlahin. So it's a group that was distributed across several southern hemisphere continents during the Cretaceous period, but most of them are still pretty fragmentarily known. There's only a couple that are known from pretty complete skeletons. Buitreraptor is one, Rahonavis is the other. Austroraptor, debatably, depending on what you count as a complete skeleton or a relatively complete skeleton. Most of the others are known from pretty fragmentary material. So this is a group that we're still kind of scratching the surface as to what we understand about them.
You know that old idea that might be like a Greg Paul derived idea that
No.
that dromaeosaurs and troodontids may have actually descended from proper birds.
Yeah, I know.
That idea might be making a comeback. You should talk to Jim about that.
I'm not super surprised by that. I mean, Greg has put a lot of ideas out there, and many of them are very, very good. And I think he does have this kind of uncanny ability to recognize things maybe before, or maybe he's just braver, to recognize things before a lot of the rest of us do. So
there's some stuff in the Utah Raptor Mega Block that might shed some light upon this.
Oh, that's cool.
So
okay.
Jim can tell you about it. And are birds members of this group? So birds are members of Maniraptora, so they're like a sister group to dromaeosaurs and troodontids.
Right.
So they're like very close cousins.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to explain, but basically I don't know how to do this, but
let me go grab a visual aid, actually.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. It's gonna take a minute, though. Oh, maybe you can talk about, we had a question about whether or not paleontology is a lucrative field.
So is paleontology a lucrative field? For the most part, it's not. So I am the dinosaur curator at the Carnegie Museum in Pittsburgh, and I definitely make, my wife and I both have jobs. We don't have kids, and that makes a difference as well. And we live, I would say, quite comfortably, but we're definitely not rich by any stretch of the imagination. you know, Nick is still a grad student, so he's got, hopefully his big earnings are ahead of him, but at the moment probably not making a ton of money because most grad students don't.
Paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, Danny, or I think you guys heard, but Nick just said paycheck to paycheck. And then many paleontologists are university professors. I would say they, on average, make a little bit more than museum curators like me, but not a ton more. So again, many paleontologists, I would say, like have a comfortable income, but students generally do not. I would say one other way to make a living as a paleontologist is being a commercial fossil collector. Sometimes that can be reasonably lucrative, but you have to kind of, it's a gamble because you got to kind of get lucky and find something really, you know, really valuable. So, yeah.
I wouldn't encourage that.
Yeah,
Not that. Don't do that.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like commercial collectors don't even make that much.
Many of them do not.
You know?
Many of them do not. It's like, you know, in a lot of ways, it's like playing the lottery. It's not like you know, somebody just decides they're going to go collect dinosaurs and they find a T-Rex right away and they get rich. I mean, you know, a lot of these people never find anything that really justifies the effort that they spend. So yeah. So long story short, it's not super lucrative a lot of the time. But
that's,
you know,
if you can find a job at all.
Right.
I mean, which is becoming increasingly more difficult nowadays.
But on the positive side, you know, there's an old adage, and this is, you know, pretty cliched, but there's an old adage that says if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
And that definitely, I absolutely love what I do. I love the field side of it. I love working in our museum. I love interacting with the public, talking to them about dinosaurs and other fossil animals. I even like the research side of it. I like writing papers. I like writing grant proposals. It's kind of, in a way, I get paid to do my hobby, and that's pretty cool.
There's that.
Oh yeah.
You seen that like really simple cladogram for amniotes?
No, I haven't actually. This is cool.
I love that.
Okay.
Like it's. I show this all the time.
Yeah. So the question before was, are birds members of I think the question was, are birds members of Dromaeosauridae? They're not quite. So up here on this part of the cladogram, you know, you got things like, let's see who's who here. You've got things like T-Rex is here. So a T-Rex is here. This is a velociraptor or something really similar.
Yeah, a lot of them are like based on the prehistoric planet colorations, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think this is probably Archaeopteryx or some other really archaic bird.
I want to say that's a troodontid, actually.
Oh, really? It's shown
brown guy?
it's shown as more closely related to birds.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see that a lot where they put troodontids closer than dromaeosaurs, but I don't know.
Well, anyway, at this node here,
Maybe it is Archaeopteryx.
yeah, this part of the tree is called Paraves. And so this is the group that oh, and you can see here, this is the origin of theropod dinosaurs. This group here is called Paraves. Or actually, probably on the diagram, it's supposed to be Maniraptor, but it doesn't matter. This group here is the group that includes birds. You can see a sparrow or something up here. But these animals, these Unanlahines, they branched off separate from the origin of birds. So they're relatives of birds, but they're not birds themselves. So the short answer is birds are not part of the dromaeosaurid group, but albeit very closely related, but not quite the same thing.
That's kind of the consensus view right now, yeah. There are some people who suspect that maybe dromaeosaurs and troodontids are descended from birds, which would mean that Velociraptor and Deinonychus and Utahraptor or Troodon would be birds. But
Would they be under the order Aves?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
But we don't know. That part of the family tree is really kind of hazy. Like, we need some more stuff from the Middle Jurassic. It's just, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
there's so many feathered dinosaurs now, so many bird-like dinosaurs are known that it's sort of hard to draw a line between what's a bird and what isn't. And the line is usually drawn at Archaeopteryx, this animal that was discovered in the 19th century and long considered the first or most primitive bird. But it's really, in a way, it's an arbitrary line to draw. I mean, it's just, you know, it's where it's put.
Anonymous says, when is Matt starting his Twitch channel? I can listen to this all day.
Thanks very much. I appreciate that. I unfortunately have probably about 10 scientific manuscripts that I owe collaborators, so I don't think I have a chance to do that, or at least the time to do it, but I will be happy to make guest appearances on Danny's channel if he wants.
Awesome. Yeah. And thank you so much for doing this. It's
no,
wonderful.
my pleasure.
You're a
I'm having
natural,
good
Matt.
time.
You really are.
I mean, I don't think I'm a natural. I just talk to the public a ton.
Well, you've well practiced, we'll
Thanks.
say.
Yeah.
Where can people see more of you online? You've probably got some YouTube talks and stuff, right?
Yeah, most of the stuff where I'm. So I've been on a few TV shows. Most of those are from the 2000s, so kind of a long time ago. I'm briefly on, probably for a total of about 2 minutes, I'm on the National Geographic special about Spinosaurus that aired in 2014. It's called something like Bigger Than T-Rex or something like that. Yeah. But that's mostly about Nizar Ibrahim and his discoveries. The museum has like little videos and things like that I've done over the years. So yeah, that's probably a good place.
Didn't you do like a TEDx talk too?
I did do a TEDx talk. I don't think it's anywhere online though.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think they like record. It was very, very small potatoes TEDx, I think.
Interesting.
Judging from some of the other talks. So, but yeah, I do have an Instagram page. I don't post to it very much, but my Instagram is just Matt Lamanna, so it's my first name and my last name. So MattLamanna on Instagram.
I feel like every time you like bend down to start working, I like ask you something else.
No. It's I'm getting pretty old, so I like the breaks.
Yeah. And Quixotic Odyssey says, glad to see this channel's success. I remember when Danny was making dinosaur t-shirts in his bathroom. I did do that wasn't even at the beginning. It was before I left for the field. I made a bunch of t-shirts.
That was Tuesday.
But that was like the one room that like wasn't carpeted, so if I got screen print ink on the floor, I could wipe it off.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Acoustics were really good there,
and I'll say too to the chat, I mean, I think it's awesome that so many of you guys follow Danny and his channel. I mean, he's really good at this, and it's, there's so much media out there that you could be paying attention to, and the fact that you're paying attention to real paleontology happening is pretty awesome. So thanks.
Thanks. Yeah. I appreciate you saying that, Matt. And I try and keep it as, science-centric and non-clickbaity as possible,
Biggest dinosaur discovery. Next time on Paleontologizing, we'll sell you the whole seat, but you only need the edge.
Spinosaurus, its sail evolved for skateboarding. It could swim up waterfalls.
If Spinosaurus could go forward in time and fight a saber-toothed tiger, who would win?
You'll find out after these 25 ads.
Exactly.
Oh, and Dino Dex says, could you expand on sauropods having live birth? As I'm not sure I missed. I'm not sure I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an idea from the 80s, back before any sauropod eggs were discovered. Well, actually, sorry. Sauropod eggs had been discovered, but they weren't recognized as such because there were no known sauropod embryos inside them. And all this, nobody really, I would say very few people, well, it's hard for me to say because I was a kid at the time, but I don't think it was super widely accepted, if at all. But at any rate, if anybody did kind of buy into that, their bubble was burst and their dreams were shattered when in the 90s, really massive titanosaurian sauropod nesting ground was found in Patagonia, and many of those eggs do have embryos in them. And since then, sauropod embryos have been found from other places too. So we know definitively that sauropods laid eggs.
Yeah, as far as we know, all dinosaurs laid eggs.
Right.
It was up until, I think, 2020, we still were missing eggs from, like, marginocephalians.
Oh, that could be. Yeah.
And then it turns out they probably have leathery shell
Right.
eggs.
There's some evidence that, yes, that some dinosaurs laid soft-shelled eggs, and that's part of the reason why we haven't found them.
I think the idea is that's, like, the basal condition for dinosaurs.
Yes, there are some who would argue that, for sure.
Yeah. But as for the live birth thing, wasn't that, like... I remember Bacher writing about that in the 80s.
Yeah.
It's like a really speculative thing, like we just don't know.
Yeah, I don't know even if Bob really bought into it himself, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it was one of these things where you couldn't say, and I can't tell you for absolute certain that all of the hundreds, if not thousands, of species of sauropods that existed over history, whether one of them might have evolved live birth, it's hard to say. But but right now there's no evidence for it.
Again, we can get back to the EPB for that.
Right.
Because both modern crocodilians and birds, they all lay eggs. They're all oviparous.
Right. As opposed to viviparous, which means gives birth to live young.
Yeah. Or ovoviviparous. Where the eggs hatch internally, basically.
You
Yeah.
have to help me out with that one.
Yeah. There are a lot of sharks that do that. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think certain species of snake.
Yes, some snakes give.
Yeah. I think some snakes can kind of like do either, like depending on how they're feeling that day.
Huh.
They can give birth to live young or lay eggs, or do in between.
Huh. That's cool.
I don't know. You can look that up, Chet. I think there are some species of snake that can do that.
I know polar bears in certain conditions can hold off their gestation period.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and wait until they have better, until the environment's better fit for them to have a child.
Huh.
Or a pup.
That's some
Cub?
family planning
Cub.
there. Yeah.
Cub.
A cub.
Yeah. And I randomly saw this channel had to follow. Love all kinds of history, etc. from the olden days. These are the very olden days here.
Super old.
73 million years ago.
Back when the days were good.
When the Earth was young. Which is not actually. This is way later than that.
Before the dark times.
Before the Empire. Yeah. This is actually really late in the age of dinosaurs here. We're right toward the end. Here, can you hand me that stack of...
Sure.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, that'll do.
Can I see one of the cladograms?
Here, take a look.
Sweet.
Go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are watching Nick learn about dinosaur paleontology right in front of your very eyes.
I know stuff, okay?
Oh, he knows a lot, yeah, but
He does
there's
know-
always more to learn.
He does know a lot. I'm just teasing him, which I shouldn't do.
So yeah, this is a...
An ammonite.
yeah. Yeah, it's like too long to show in a straight line, so we've curled it around like that. But this is the history of life on Earth from the Big Bang, or from the formation of the Earth, rather, which is long, long, long after the Big Bang, up until the present. And so, up in this part, this blue section we have right here is the Mesozoic, the age of dinosaurs. This green section right there is the Cretaceous period. So that's pretty close to the present in the grand scheme of things. So like this dinosaur that we're digging up right now is... that would be closer in time to us than it would be to like Stegosaurus, I think.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, by a little. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe like a few million years. Yeah. But yeah. So this is about 73 million years old. Stegosaurus, for instance, is about
150.
145, 100 to 150. Yeah.
Yeah.
Up until the end of the Jurassic. Jim's been talking about how, like, there's growing evidence that there was like a catastrophic extinction at the end of the Jurassic, and like a really dramatic turnover.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk to him about that.
I think that
That's not the conventional wisdom.
I think that probably does apply with northern hemisphere dinosaur fauna. So
Oh, yeah, but you got that
like
southern
literal
hemisphere
blood,
perspective.
sweat, and tears now. Cool.
I've got some liquid bandage if you want it for later.
I mean, I'm not dying, chat. See, and I'm not gonna hold up which finger it is either.
Yeah,
but
rude
yes.
gesture.
Yep, yeah. This is the trick of buying gloves that only have.
Yeah, I got the same ones.
Yeah, twinsies.
These were recommended to me by Steve
Yep.
Clausen, the preparator at the Badlands Dinosaur Museum. Yeah. But I've got some other gloves that have these fingers and the thumb, but then these are both split.
Okay.
So
yeah.
like,
No,
these are usually the first ones to wear out anyway.
I do like the tactile. The reason, this stream brought to you by Mechanics Gloves.
These are really cool. These are well
Thanks.
put
Yeah,
together.
they're excellent resources.
Oh,
yeah.
I made that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
The
cool.
turkey dinosaur diagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did
Ooh.
that for Thanksgiving a couple years ago.
I think I might want to steal that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, you know who'd be super interested in that is Mandy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'll
because
have to
she's
show
an
her.
educator. Yeah.
Yeah, so I made that as like a printable thing. I was going to give it a Creative Commons license.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
I
That's
didn't
nice.
for some reason. I forget.
Yeah. Well, it was a lot of work.
Yeah. maybe I'll do that this year. But yeah, so I drew all that and wrote all the text.
Nice.
And then, we had a member of chat who actually translated the full thing into Spanish, too.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, so it's also available
Su pavo
en
es un
español.
dinosaurio.
Sí, claro que sí.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Está en la ciudad.
En la ciudad.
Me gusta comer helado y no me gusta hacer la tarea.
I like to eat the side, is that what you said?
Yes, el lalo.
Helado.
Ah,
Ice cream.
helado.
Helado
Helado.
is
Yeah, you
ice
like
cream,
to eat
yeah.
ice cream, and then what was the other one? What did you not like to
No me
eat?
gusta hacer la tarea.
To make the earth?
I don't like to do homework.
Oh, la tarea.
Ah, okay.
Tarea.
Sí.
Yeah, my pronunciation's horrible.
Mine's good, but my vocabulary es malo.
A mí me gusta sardinas.
But it's been 5 years since I've done anything Spanish related, so I think I held up pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, those are like the only things I can say.
Cody Shibi says, where can we see more of your art/illustrations, Danny? Back when I'm home in my office. And let's say like beginning of July, I can show you some stuff. But I don't really have much printed out here. Here, I can show you one of my illustrations, chat. It's going to look like the stream went offline, but it didn't. You guys can't see it because it's...
Yeah, no, I know. I was like looking at your phone like oh yeah.
Wasn't that great?
Good job, Danny. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you,
I
thank
love
you.
that Spinosaurus that's in there.
Thanks.
there one-
Baryonyx, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, is it a
Oh, okay,
Spinosaurus?
okay.
It really is.
I've got a Baryonyx in there, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Man, I was
It's like
close.
Baryonyx, Camarasaurus, a new Chasmosaur, the same one I found in 2012 that's not published yet.
Oh, cool.
And then a bunch of non-dinosaurs. I've got like a magpie, Paramylodon, giant ground sloth, big Metoposaur, a
Cool.
giant orthicone,
Nice.
and lead zichthys too.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Nice.
Big. Imagine fishing for that guy.
Yeah, I love that thing. Well, you'd have to use plankton. That's my favorite thing. My favorite fish from the Mesozoic is this thing's called lead zichthys. What's the species name? You remember?
Oh, I forget. But like Owen named it, right?
It's
way
guy's name
back.
goes way back. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's a giant filter feeding pachycormid fish. So it's not really closely related to anything today, but think like a fish trying to be a whale ecologically,
Yeah.
or more accurately,
It's like a whale shark.
Whales are trying to be lead zichthys.
Yeah, 'cause
or
those
a
are
whale
first.
shark. Yeah, a whale
Yeah.
shark is a good, probably the best analogy of all.
Or maybe basking shark based on the morphology.
I think that lead zichthys. Someone will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that filter fed through its gill rakers.
Oh.
I think.
Which would be like a basking shark.
I think so.
Or Rhynchodon, the whale shark?
The whale shark.
I just think of whale sharks as being like dorsoventrally compressed.
Yeah.
And basking sharks I always think of as being more like cylindrical.
That's true. Yeah.
Or maybe they're plesiosaur shaped, like from the Zwiu Maru.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. All right, some cryptozoology. Here we go.
Oh no.
Yep.
Open up a whole can of worms.
They wouldn't eat worms. They just said they're plankton feeders.
Is it Lead Zichthys problematicus? Does that ring a bell?
I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. Whoever did that. So.
It's just, oh yeah. It's a real troublemaker, that fish.
Yeah, that was in detention a lot.
Just didn't really apply himself very well.
Yeah,
You know, he's
yeah.
smart, but
It's
he's lazy.
problematic. Now, a lot of times when we paleontologists find something we don't understand, we'll give it a species name like Enigmaticus or Problematicus, like, just to acknowledge that we couldn't figure it out, I guess, or to encourage research on it in the future.
Lead Zichthys weirdoensis.
Yeah.
From the island of
That means
Weirdo.
From Weirdo. Gonzo Titan.
That's not in press, is it?
No, thank God.
Oh, I might have to steal that.
Be my guest.
If you find a sauropod with evidence of a trunk.
Yeah. Well, Gonzo the Muppet is by definition a weirdo, so I just said Gonzo Titan for those that, Gonzo Raptor, Gonzo Venator, Gonzosaurus Rex.
Yeah. And we're getting some hydrates here. Okay, I'll get some water. Goodness. We know what we're doing out here, we're professionals.
I mean, I'll take a break if they tell me to.
Yeah.
It's cool with me.
Yeah. Oh, Dr. Hubbs says, speaking of Melissa in denial, I followed Matt on Instagram and saw the reconstruction of the dinosaur with a name that can be written in hieroglyphs.
Oh, nice. Thank you. That's I think it's pronounced Igahi Semku.
Yeah.
Although it's you'd have to ask the Egyptologist at my museum because she's the one that helped us come up with it.
That's cool.
But yes, it we had to make the dinosaur glyph ourselves, but she said that was permissible from a kind of from an ancient Egyptian syntax standpoint. And so we, Eric Gorsak drew the little dino glyph, and then the rest are real hieroglyphs. That Igahi is I guess is a deity that was worshipped by some of the ancient inhabitants of the western desert oases in Egypt. So the name is translated, the name means forgotten lord of the oasis. So Igahi is the deity and Semku means to forget or the forgotten. And this is because the dinosaur was actually found in 1977 but not described until we did it in 2023.
Shout out to Eric, my paleo uncle.
Yeah. Eric Gorsak has worked a lot with Nick and I on the biogeography, so the distribution of hadrosaur dinosaurs, duckbill dinosaurs. And an old friend of mine loves Arnold Schwarzenegger memes. Yep.
Oh, get to the quarry.
Oh, who's squeaking? I don't know. It's a funny squeaky sound.
Who is that?
Yeah, we have a squirrel.
Probably a chipmunk, I imagine.
Yeah.
Huh. Or some sort of giant toothy predator trying to lure us over.
That's
a trap!
Has Chat seen some of the dangerous wildlife that's around this quarry?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. Some lizards, some rock wrens.
Yeah, various kinds of birds. I saw one today that I hadn't seen before.
Mealy feral.
Ground squirrels, aka, I don't know if they're technically ground squirrels or chipmunks. They look like an eastern chipmunk, but they're bigger. Oh, and wasps, of course.
Oh,
Some of you guys have probably heard about the wasps.
Danny, how's this look? So if we flip this, is that edge gonna hit here? Good talk.
That's a good point, Nick.
Yeah. And I'm trying to visualize it.
Yeah, that's looking pretty good.
I mean, you could...
If you could take this down a little more if you want to.
Yeah, it looks like it could... The tip of it's barely going to hit here, so I'll take it back here.
Great, yeah. That's a place we can work where we're not in each other's hair.
We don't want to pin our hands against the wall.
Yep.
Mel Kerr says, in what country are you in? In what country are we in?
Good old United States of America.
Big sky country.
Yep.
Yeah. Wyoming, the state of Wyoming in the U.S. That reminds me, there's that Beatles song, or maybe it wasn't the Beatles, maybe it was just Paul McCartney. Live and Let Die.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a controversy about that song.
Guns N' Roses did a cover.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But there's a line, and it sounds like he's saying, but in this ever-changing world in which we live in. So
yeah, that's what it
same
sounds
preposition like. 3 times, yeah.
He's just trying to, extend his word count.
Oh, yeah. He's trying to finish the paper, and the teacher said...
Proof that not all British people are smart.
And Kennedy says, I think chipmunks are a type of ground squirrel.
Oh, okay.
I think you're right, yeah. Right. They are.
Yeah, thanks.
And Astro Banshee says, Danny, Big Sky is Montana. I lived in Montana for the better part of a decade. But there are people in Wyoming who call this Big Sky country, too.
You should know your states, Danny.
Casey Howard says, Bat Country. Yeah.
Bat Country is an Avenged Sevenfold song.
Fear and Loathing in the Late Campanian. Let's see. Oh, and we got a raid from Modder Paul Scambates. Welcome,
Nice.
welcome, Modder Paul. Good to have you here. Welcome to Wyoming. We're digging up this dinosaur here, trenching around this protective plaster jacket so we can get it flipped and then trim it down.
That was the seed thing that we found. Yeah.
Nice. How was your stream, Otter Paul? It was really good. Yeah. And Montana, you mean North Wyoming? I believe it's actually West Dakota, if I'm not mistaken. Or South Alberta. Yeah. 6 of one, couple dozen of the other. How long before you flip the jacket, Hogan? A while. It's gonna be, we really got to cut this thing down. I'm pretty deep under on this side.
Let me see. There, yeah, you are.
Like there?
Okay.
Yeah. How far are you under?
Not as.
Oh, you make good progress this last time though. Nice. I'm not even sure if we're necessary. Well, do you think we need another strip under here? How is this feeling in terms of looseness?
It doesn't
fall down.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's not going to fall down. Good.
Oh, no, it's the rock's hard over here. I mean, we could, but and maybe should, but
Yeah, this is a really important specimen. We should probably play it safe.
yeah,
Is now a good time to do that?
I don't see why not.
Okay. Yeah, let's
I mean,
mix
if
up.
we want to do it before it,
Yeah.
yeah, before we do it for reals.
Let's get a strip going.
Yeah.
Yeah. A burlap strip, chat.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't want to see that, at least from me.
We have alkaline water, it's okay. We'll be clean. That's really crappy inside there, but
Nick, don't let me forget. I'm putting my wedding ring in the pocket of my fleece.
got it. Okay, noted.
Oh, that's a bad omen, chat.
What's that?
Putting the wedding ring away.
Oh no, it's just to not get the plaster on my wedding ring. I did it yesterday and it took a while to get off, so.
It'd be like that scene, was it Apollo 13 where she loses it in the drain in the hotel?
Oh, I can't remember. How much, do we need to cut more, you think?
Probably, yeah. These are all kind of the wrong shape.
Do we have scissors still?
If we don't, I've got a knife.
Should still be scissors in there.
But I think this is probably going to be too short, even if it's wide enough. What do you think?
I would, yeah, I would want more than this. Probably.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Let me look for the scissors.
I want to say they have an orange one.
They do, yeah. Which... Did Ethan take them yesterday? I forget. Not seeing them thus far, but I've got a knife. We probably got medical scissors in here.
Oh, there.
Oh, great. Good spot.
Oh, there's more stuff in here.
It seems a little narrow, though.
The great strip diameter controversy continues.
I don't know, it's your side of the jacket, so if you're...
No, let's do it. No, I'm
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to, if it falls apart, I don't want to get it.
Fair. Alright, let's see. And yeah, that's the movie. Thank you, Messica. I guess it was Apollo 13. hat, Mahakala says, after you took your wedding ring off, you're married to the grind.
That's me, dedicated. 24/7. Except when I'm drinking or fishing or.
All right. And what is under this jacket looks like a fairly large fossil. Yeah, Hogan? I think it's already been explained, but let me take a second and show you a diagram. El diagram. A ceratopsian dinosaur, not too dissimilar from this one. This is Pentaceratops. Ours is probably related to this, but not the same exact critter. And so this is one of the bones in the frill, the one that has the fenestra in the middle, that big hole. It's called the parietal bone, and it's like the best possible bone we could get from this animal. It's the most diagnostic. This is the part of the animal that, the part of, ceratopsian dinosaurs, ceratopsids at least, that seems to evolve the fastest, or, changes the most throughout time. And so as these critters are evolving in the late Cretaceous of North America, the parietal is one of those bones that changes very, very quickly. And so different ceratopsians, they can be easily distinguished by the shape of their parietal. So we're very, very lucky to have this. We got to make sure that we really get it out properly. We don't want to rush this or botch it in any way, because it is an extraordinarily important fossil. And Marshall says, oh, Marshall Georgi Zukov. Oh, I'm a big fan of your work. I rode that thing at a rodeo once. Your reputation precedes you.
Live to tell the tale.
Was Zukov's first name actually Georgi? Huh. And how is your ceratopsian position? It's exploded. It's in multiple pieces. That's how it's positioned. Yeah.
These strips are kind of gnarly because I'm trying to cut this by myself in the wind.
Oh, no worries. Do you want a hand?
Sure.
Yeah. Like that?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Just pull apart as I go down. How wide do you want it? Like hand width more?
Maybe a hand and a half?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more.
You
Yeah.
guys go big here.
Oh, yeah. Go big or go home. Or don't compromise and do both. Go big and go home.
Poor craftsman blankets.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah. Which way was I even going? It's like
that way, yeah. Nice.
I had a few of them. They're kind of gnarly. They might not be as wide as you want.
That would be great. Yeah. All right. Awesome. So we'll probably only need one or two.
Right.
But, yeah. Do you want help with the jacketing of this part, or do you want to do it yourself?
I'll take your help for
Cool.
sure.
All right.
I'm very rusty. I mean, I can apply if you.
Oh yeah.
I guess.
I can just mix stuff and yeah. Honestly, a huge part of it is just pouring the right amount of water and plaster at the outset. All right. All right. Got our water. Got our
plaster.
I'm going to try and mix it extra thick.
Okay.
So it clings better to the underside.
Sounds good.
Do you want to like do some test runs with the burlap just to see kind of where it'll fit on?
What do you think about that, Danny?
Oh, that looks great. Yeah, I think we'll only need one.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big one. But
Nice. Okay. Might regret this, but I'm going to leave the phone on my arm.
I was just going to ask you if you want me to hold it.
Yeah, do you want?
Let me just set it down over here. Sorry, chat. I'm going to be,
Unresponsive.
yeah, out of office temporarily. Put that there. Yeah. And someone is asking, how did we choose this spot to start digging deeper? This is where the dinosaur is, you know?
Yeah. No, it's actually a really good question.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people think we paleontologists just somehow know where the dinosaurs are, and we kind of, walk to a spot and think like, oh, the dinosaurs must be here, and just start digging down. That's not, almost always that's not how it happens. We look for fragments of bone that have already weathered out of the ground, and we try to find the layer they're coming out of. And in this case, it took a couple of hours last year, but the layer was identified. And so once that layer was discovered, we started digging in and finding more bones.
All right. A little bit more, I think. That's okay. I don't actually need as much water here. Pour it a little bit too much. That's nice and thick.
This is a very small batch because we're just doing one strip here to reinforce one side of the jacket.
Should lift one hand free. Could you grab just like a fistful of plaster and scoop it in there?
Sure.
I want to make sure this is nice and thick. Perfect, thank you. All right, nice. Now we're cooking with plaster.
Can they still hear the squelchy goodness?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, you
Probably
like to
not.
roll these up first, don't you?
I can just put it in like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll grab that out first. Thanks. All right. Very nice.
Nice.
Okay. Excellent.
All right, now I have to remember where I had it before.
And it's going to be tricky to unroll it, so let me know if you need another set of hands. Or if you want me to hold this side on or something.
Okay, I can do it.
Okay, cool.
You rolled it really nice, so.
Thanks. Yeah, not my first ceratopsian rodeo.
That's really what we should call them, is rodeos.
Rodeo ceratops.
Well, the trick is going to be getting it to stick, though.
Yeah. So we'll wait for the stuff to solidify a little bit in the bucket, and we can use that as goop. Yeah. So chat, while we're doing this right now, is there's like an overhang there, and we want to make sure that it's bandaged on the underside, so that the fossil, surrounded by the rock, doesn't fall out of the underside as we flip it. So we're putting a nice kind of underskirt under there to hold it on. This is, if this were a less scientifically important bone, maybe we wouldn't bother with this kind of overkill, but this is really, really important. Arguably like the most important specimen we'll get out this summer. At least to us, to the plant people, The plants are super important.
And to Fisher, the fish are important.
Yeah. Living up to his name.
Uh-huh. Destiny. It's like Michael Pollan writing the botany of desire.
There you go. Nominative determinism, I believe it's called.
Yeah, I love that. I actually didn't know what it was called, but I love it.
Yeah. Apparently there's like a disproportionate number of ichthyologists with the last name Fish.
There is an ichthyologist named Frank Fish.
Really?
You know that? Yeah.
Huh. It makes sense if it's like, you're growing up and you have positive associations with your last name and people, I don't know, buy you fish t-shirts or something. Alright, that might still be a little thin.
Too creamy, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I can, here, I'll grab a fistful of plaster and put it in there, thicken it up. There we go. That should make it nice and thick. Yeah, nice. Really thick shoot.
Alright, well.
No, I think that'll be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, and then as we're doing this chat, we're striving to get it as smooth as possible, because eventually we're going to have to carry this thing by hand down to the vehicle, and you don't want all kinds of like sharp edges digging into our skin and that kind of thing. Especially when we're like straining to carry a multi-100-pound jacket. You want it as smooth as possible to reduce blood loss. That's feeling good there. Yeah. Oop. Use a little bit more goop under here, I think. Thanks. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is feeling a little loose under here, but I can't quite reach it.
It's hard for me too.
Yeah. I wonder if a crew has ever brought like thick rope out to make like rope handles on a jacket.
Yeah, I don't know.
Scoot over here.
Yeah, help me out. I know.
Little, yeah.
I can't get it to stay.
Tough.
It's so heavy.
Hear it with some goop.
I'm like holding it up
Yeah,
over
feels
here.
better.
Okay.
Yeah, when we had like really big triceratops jackets in the Hell Creek, sometimes we'd have people who were just like on their backs underneath the entire jacket with just their legs sticking out.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're just there for like 25 minutes holding up the plaster on the underside.
Yeah, yeah. I might
Until
have
it
to do that
sets.
with this here.
We had a rather uncouth name for that. I'll tell you guys later. I can't say it on stream. Shoot.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's just too long. You could mix up a little bit more and we could goop it in if you want.
Yeah, we might do that. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. It's really flopping down.
I mean, or we could cut it off.
Nah, Nah, we could probably goop it on there. Give me just a little bit of water.
I'm just gonna get into position here.
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes you can wedge rocks under there too to hold it up.
oh, that's a good idea too.
Oh, it's got to be facing this way.
Is there enough water?
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully, I can mix some of the pre-setting stuff in. It'll accelerate all the rest of it. Grab me a fistful of. Yep. I wish we had some of those yellow scoops, but I think they're all at Turtle Hill. The mini ones that are good for plaster. Thank you.
I think what's happening is.
Yeah.
I think what's happening is it's sticking to the rocks, so it's pulling the rocks off.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
We need another one?
Yeah, maybe a half one. Beautiful. Thanks.
Yep.
That should do it. All right, we've got some goopage.
Alright. If you guys come in front of me.
Uh-huh. Okay. This is nice and thick.
Okay.
Got like maybe a
Alright,
couple
I'm gonna
softballs worth.
pin this in place and then I'll help.
Are we gonna put it under it or over it?
You mean on
Under the strip or over?
That's a good idea. I didn't think
Sticking
about
it
that.
under it?
Yeah, go ahead. Give
Yeah.
it a shot. Yeah, or both.
Yeah. All right, let's try that.
Watch my hands there.
Oh, sorry. Don't want me to make you a permanent part of the jacket.
I'll have to cut your hand off.
Nice. How's it feeling? Is it sticking?
It's starting to. Yeah. It's,
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's still.
All right.
It's a pretty heavy piece of burlap. So.
Yeah. You want some for over the top of it?
Yes, I do.
Here, you can go grab with that hand. Yeah. All right, I got some more here too. Oh, the glitz and glamour of being a paleontologist. Check on this side. You're doing well over here. Yeah. Smooth this out.
We used to leave. It's probably just like an old, I don't know, like myth or something. But we used to leave like score marks on the plaster if it wasn't the final layer.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, to like.
Oh, so the other
idea
plaster
of
adheres
thinking
better?
it would adhere better. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do that in pottery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Use scores.
I do that with 3D prints where I'll score it or scuff up the surface if I'm going to
Yeah.
glue two things together.
Right. Yep.
A lot of sandpaper.
I hate sand.
If you're sand people.
It's so coarse. Yeah, this is gonna hold. That's good. Good job, you
Excellent.
guys. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's gonna need a lot more
Yeah.
eventually.
And I mean, after we flip it too, we're going to have to tear that off anyway.
right.
So it's a
temporary solution.
yeah.
Yep.
All right. Oh, let's see what chat's
That worked pretty well, I think.
You still there, chat? Yeah. How many layers of plaster were used for this? Several. I'm not sure now.
I think we're on 2
layers
so far, I think.
Plus our little undercoat there. I don't know how many strips though.
No idea.
Yeah, enough hopefully.
Favorite part, ripping all my arm hairs off.
Oh yeah. The little paleo wax procedure.
Yep.
Oop, sorry.
Oh, good.
Kicking your water bottle. Menace.
Alright, where needs the most help? This side still?
I might actually refrain from hitting it for a while, just while it sets.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll give it a couple minutes.
Dig in here then, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to help me just
Sure.
lay this side out? And...
Yeah. Let me put this.
What is the oyster knife? It's just something. Here it is.
Nice. And did you spend the night out there, says One Fun Panda? Yeah, we slept in the quarry, around the jacket to protect it.
I mean, it honestly might have been a better idea.
No, we went back to camp last night. So, it got cold too. Oh man.
It's very cold and windy.
Yeah.
Now it's perfect.
Yeah. Although I'd argue a little too warm for long pants, hence my bizarre fashion today. But yeah. And that's a desert for you, says Volcano Dog. It's been unusually cold last night. It got down to like freezing. It doesn't normally do that in, mid-June.
Yeah. I think, wasn't Ethan like kind of staring at the sky and just going like,
yeah.
June?
Yeah. He was cooking up those little steaks and like we had some grapple fall onto the, basically like miniature hail fall onto that. And is there any security to prevent fossil theft? Yeah, you're looking at it, Science Streams.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have seen the other guy.
You should have seen the other guy.
Can't anymore. He was vaporized.
Exactly. Destroyed by the Empire.
You smoldered at him and he just vaporized.
Yeah. And we're pretty isolated out here, and so we kind of rely on
Sorry
people.
About the dust storm. I
no
didn't
worries.
realize that was going to happen.
No, we kind of just rely on people not knowing where we are.
Yeah, I just inhaled all of that.
Sorry, Nick. I mean, I've been giving you beer every day.
I appreciate it. Just there's something coming soon, so don't worry. Also,
Kane says, "Careful, Danny, you're slowly getting plastered." That's what we do out here. We come out to the desert every summer and just get totally plastered in the sun.
Yep.
Hope you're doing well, Kane. It's good to see you. Make it tight enough. Tie off here. There we go.
You got into a really irony layer here, Nick. So you got into a really irony layer.
Yeah.
I know. No bones though. Oh, iron.
And does plaster make for good sunscreen? Asked the Flagellocaudatum. What a great name, by the way. I know I've said that before.
I was sharing an office with Jerry Harris when he came up with that name.
Really?
In like 2099.
Well.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so Flagellocauda is a subgroup of the diplodocid sauropod group, so the group that includes Diplodocus and Apatosaurus and
Barosaurus?
Dicraeosaurus and Barosaurus and...
Oh, so
it's a subclade of Diplodocoidea. That's right.
Gotcha.
And so it's the group that Flagellocauda includes diplodocids and dicraeosaurids. So things like Diplodocus and Dicraeosaurus and Suawasia, and that's the animal that when he proposed the name Flagellocauda, it was when he named Suawasia.
Nice.
Which,
same paper?
Which
Nice.
I helped to dig up in 1999.
Very cool. Is that how you say it? Suawasia?
That's how Jerry says it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will say it from that way from now on. I always heard Carrie Woodruff say Suawasia. But Su'uwasi, there's two U's at the beginning, right?
Carrie didn't name it.
Exactly, yeah. Cineron says Twitch needs more brain-forward streams like this. Oh, thank you. I presume that's a compliment. I'm not sure I'm smart enough to know.
I think if our conversation isn't always so brainy.
Definitely not. We definitely clean things up for the stream too. So. You're all swearing like sailors when the stream is off. The Raven, you have no idea. Make a sea captain blush. Arr! Arr, me bleep.
What's the sea captain's favorite sock?
Argyle. What's a pirate's favorite letter in the alphabet?
Oh, I should have said pirate.
Q?
Yeah. Q? Yeah.
think one after that.
No, I know. I'm not going to do it.
Arr. Yeah. Charlie's Dragon says you would think it was R, but their one true love is the sea. There you go.
I feel like this is good. Let me get rid of this stuff here.
Oh, okay. You don't want to go any lower than that?
No, because it's it lines up with this.
Okay.
And then we're... I want to get this right here.
Okay.
How long does a project like this take, says Snappin' Neuron. Good question. We don't know. It depends how much of this animal is still here. So where you're sitting right now, Chad, on top of this big rock wall,
Yeah, grabby.
once we get this guy out, we'll knock that wall down as far as we can
How's your finger?
and see how much more of this animal is in there. This could be a multi-year process. We were already here last summer digging up the squamosal bone from this animal. Now we've got a number of other skull bones, plus this precious parietal here. And yeah, we're hoping that most of the skull of the animal is right here, but we will have to see. It's, you never really know. We could have an entire, close to an entire skeleton, or this could be it. It's,
Teamwork.
yeah. There's only really one way to find out. And are there any dinosaur bones in slate? Slate is like metamorphic rock?
Yep. Metamorphosed shale, I think.
Yeah, I think it's extraordinarily rare. Generally, metamorphosing rocks tends to kind of cook the fossils inside, so they're... yeah, but I don't know. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head of dinosaur fossils that have come out of slate.
No, me neither.
Yeah,
All sedimentary.
yeah. And has anyone on the crew found or worked on any phytosaurs? No. I don't think so. Have you ever worked on any phytosaurs, Nick?
No. This is... I only worked on fish, the ceratopsid, and early Devonian, or late Devonian and late Ordovician.
Wait, somebody said Devonian. That means Tiktaalik.
No. I would never be tied to Tiktaalik. Please get me away from him.
So I've collected some Champsosaur bits before, and they want to be phytosaurs, but, you know, this wasn't in the cards for them.
Yeah, I've never, I work mostly in the Cretaceous, and I worked a little in the Jurassic, but never the Triassic, and phytosaurs are Triassic exclusively.
They don't make it into like the earliest?
I don't think so.
I want to say they had some at, in St. George. At the Dinosaur Discovery site?
I might be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
I only know that, I only think this because when I did some merchandise for them way back in the day, they had me do a phytosaur too.
Okay.
Cool. I think it's an Archosaurus. Desmatosuchus?
Desmatosuchus.
Yeah.
That's a cool.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a,
an Aedosaur.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
And Dilly Dally says, for what reason do you guys believe the plate evolved faster on ceratopsians in the later Cretaceous era? You're talking about the frill?
The frill, yeah.
Yeah. Well, ceratopsids only occur in the late Cretaceous. The, you know, your classic horned dinosaurs. Yeah, and here, let me show you a diagram. We've got good reason to think that all the headgear evolved primarily for display. So this is a two-sided one. We've got your Centrosaurians here and your Chasmosaurians here, and this is probably less than half of the known diversity nowadays of these guys. Yeah, if, like we think, that headgear, the frills and horns and spikes and cheeks and stuff, if this all evolved for display, then you would expect it to change pretty rapidly. You know, almost like fashion trend is changing over time. Yeah, if it's for showing off rather than like for anti-predator defense or something, you would expect it to change a lot, and it does. If these were primarily used for defense, if like the frill were used to protect the neck and the horns were evolved primarily to, you know, to poke predators with, you would think that they would kind of hit upon a design, a morphology that worked and just kind of stick with it, and that's not at all what they did. Many of them even lose their horns entirely on their nose and everything, like Pachyrhinosaurus and Ankylosaurus. So it seems to be kind of almost a fashion trend kind of a thing. Because the lineages of these animals evolving over time and just always changing. Does that sound right, Matt?
Yeah. I mean, I'll caution you guys, I'm not really an expert on horned dinosaurs because, as I've said a few times, I work mostly in the southern hemisphere continents, and there's not a single ceratopsid ever found anywhere actually except North America and Asia, let alone anywhere in the southern hemisphere. So you tend to become an expert on the dinosaur groups you work on, and I haven't ever really worked on this group, so I don't know as much about them as I know about something like Abelisaurids or Megaraptorids or Titanosaurs.
You don't think that ulna from Australia is actually from a leptoceratopsid?
Oh, yeah. So this is Serendipiceratops arthur-clarki.
Right. When was that named? Because I remember long before it had a name.
2003, I believe.
That early? Wow.
Yeah. This is an isolated ulna. It definitely does look like a leptoceratopsid ulna, but as you can imagine, the ulna is a forearm bone, so it's the bigger of the two bones in the forearm. And oftentimes it's not super diagnostic. So, you know, you could easily imagine that some other, as yet unknown southern hemisphere dinosaur lineage might have evolved an ulna that look a lot like that of Serendipiceratops. So
I've heard people say it looks like an ankylosaur ulna.
Yes,
too.
I have heard the same. Yep. Yeah, there's also something called Notoceratops bonarellii, which is from our field area in Chubut province in Patagonia.
Huh.
And that is a lower jaw that most people think is a hadrosaur jaw. Unfortunately, it's lost now, so we can't go and check the original and see what it looks like.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah, we have to go on pictures. And it was figured pretty extensively by Friedrich von Huene, a German paleontologist, in 1929. And it's not totally conclusive, but it's probably that of a hadrosaur, a duck-billed dinosaur, and those are known pretty, becoming increasingly well known from the southern hemisphere. So if Notoceratops really is a ceratopsid, and it's not impossible that it could be, there could have been a land bridge or something that allowed ceratopsids to get to South America, or at least a series of islands. But so far, our entire evidence of horned dinosaurs in the southern hemisphere rests on a couple of forearm bones and one partial lower jaw bone. And I think I don't need to tell you that we need more evidence before we can be sure.
We got a big raid also from L Envy. Thank you, L Envy and Raiders, for coming in. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Welcome to our dinosaur dig out here in Wyoming. We're digging up what is very likely a new species or even new genus of horned dinosaur here. So it's a lot of work, but we got to get this thing. It's under a protective cocoon of plaster and burlap here. We're going to get this flipped, hopefully this afternoon. And yeah.
How's it looking in the back there?
I still need to cut this down. It's really tricky because it's so close to the back wall.
Yeah.
But I'm working on it, yeah. Yeah, Matt, if I could get that tool back, the big awl.
Sure.
That would help. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good awl.
It's
I've
good,
never seen
isn't it?
that kind.
Yeah.
That was just a screwdriver.
Somebody from chat got that for me, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, welcome Raiders. Good to have you here. Let me know if you got any questions. And Jim, hello Jim. Good to see you. Jim says, yeah.
Nice.
Jim says probably Anki for the Serendipitoceratops.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I that's what I had heard as well.
Yeah. And Lost, how's that happen? Says Cahenel.
You know, excellent question. And I wish I could tell you. that it never got lost. But you know, sometimes this is not the case for Notoceratops bonarellii, but sometimes things get lost in wars. You know, lost can kind of mean destroyed. And that's, you know, some of you guys are probably a lot of you are familiar with the saga of Spinosaurus, this amazing dinosaur that was first discovered from Egypt.
The lost dinosaurs of Egypt, in fact.
Yeah, and
one of the stars of that documentary right here before you, Chad.
I feel like I've heard, I was gonna say I feel like I've heard of a book of that title, but yeah. So Spinosaurus was found in 1912 by the fossil collector Richard Markgraf and described in 1915 by a German paleontologist Ernst Stromer, and stayed in Munich after it was exported from Egypt. It was even mounted in the museum in Munich. We know that because our team found photographs of it, the first ever known photographs of Spinosaurus mounted. We found those in 2001 in Stromer's archive. And on April 24th, 1944, a British Royal Air Force bombing raid hit Munich. They were going after the train station, and they did get it, but they also got the museum in which Spinosaurus and all the other really awesome Bahariya Oasis dinosaur material was held. And that was all destroyed. So things can be lost via misplacement. Things can be lost. Is misplacement a word? I think so.
Oh yeah.
Things can be lost by misplacement. They can be destroyed. There definitely are. Sometimes they even just crumble to dust. There's this famously gigantic vertebra that was named Amphicelius fragilimus in the 19th century that implies a vertebra probably somewhere close to 2 meters tall, if not more, I think.
You read Carey's paper about this?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And he attributes it to like a measurement error or something, right?
It's a typo, basically.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think there's other evidence that suggests it really was a very large partial sauropod vertebra, but it was, nobody can find it now, and it's like, how do you lose something that gigantic? I mean, it was taller than me, and it was only part, I think taller than me, and only part of the vertebra. Yeah, so some people have speculated, in part based on the name Fragilimus, which means really fragile, that the thing just kind of crumbled to dust over time and was discarded. So sometimes that happens too.
Didn't that happen to Bruhathkayasaurus?
Oh,
mysterious giant titanosaur.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different rumors swirling about that. So there's a supposed giant titanosaur from the latest Cretaceous of southern India called Bruhathkayasaurus. It was originally described as a theropod, a predatory dinosaur.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's It was only a few bones. I don't even know that all of them were ever collected. I had heard rumors of a flood destroying them, but I also heard, I have a dim memory of somebody telling me that wasn't true either. I also heard stories of them being misidentified fossil wood.
Yeah.
But at any rate, this thing is out there in the literature. It's kind of akin to like, it's like Titanosaur paleontology's like answer to Nessie or something. It's like, you know, it's out there, but nobody can find it. You know, if it really ever existed, it implies a truly gigantic animal. But you know, you know, nobody can seem to find it. There was a kind of a reassessment of that published pretty recently. I want to say like 2021 or 2022, something like that. So if anybody wants to learn more about Bryuhatkaysaurus, just Google the name and you'll probably find the paper.
Yeah. And a partial sacrum misidentified, says Jim.
How is the sacrum misidentified?
No, he says it was a partial sacrum that was misidentified.
Ah, okay.
Huh.
Partial
I wonder if we're thinking of the same thing.
No, I think he might be thinking of. I remember in the Bryuhatkaysaurus, I remember an ilium, supposedly, a tibia, supposedly. I don't remember a sacrum, but that doesn't mean it didn't exist. I believe there is a dinosaur called Lametasaurus that was identified as an ankylosaur that was based on a sacrum, but is not that of an ankylosaur. That could potentially be what Jim's thinking of, or he could be right and I could be wrong. So, I mean, he has the advantage of
being able to look it up right now.
I was going to say, presumably being at his computer, whereas I do not. Paleo Wars. Kirkland versus Lamanna.
Let's see. Oh, and needed more glue for Bryuhatkaysaurus. Well, that was the thing, is they didn't have good glues back then.
I think, yeah, I've never been to the area that yields that, so I can't really say too much about it.
As someone who has published on multiple titanosaurs, have you got a standard answer for, you know, if you had to pick what is the current largest known dinosaur?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I am going to punt on any non-titanosaurs, but I think the largest known titanosaur is still Argentinosaurus, to be honest. It's not, there's not very much of it known. That's what's so frustrating about it.
Yeah.
But the fibula by itself is 1.55 meters long. It's almost as tall as me. Even Dreadnoughtus, a dinosaur that I worked on, the fibula is only 1 meter long. So that of Argentinosaurus is half again as long as Dreadnoughtus, which is already gigantic. On top of that, the dorsal vertebrae of Argentinosaurus come up to about here on me, and that is also quite a bit bigger than almost any other. The only other contenders are things like Patagotitan, Patagotitan, Puertosaurus, Notocolossus, but unfortunately Puertosaurus and Notocolossus are both known from pretty incomplete material. So for me, Argentinosaurus is probably still likely, if I had to put money on it, it would be Argentinosaurus.
Huh. I didn't hear Alamosaurus or Ruyengasaurus make the list.
Oh, yeah. Well, I tend to focus on the Gondwanan guys. Yeah. I mean, it's tricky too because we're not, you know, as we discover these things, we're not very probably not discovering the largest individual of each one.
Absolutely,
I mean, that would be extraordinarily improbable. So
someone in the chat was asking if titanosaurs got bigger than whales, and can I give my standard answer first?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Definitely yes. Longer than whales, and also, hot take, heavier than whales, because whales are weightless. They live in the water.
Oh.
They cheat, you know?
Yeah, well, it is an impressive thing. Like, I think the biggest titanosaurs are guesstimated somewhere around 50 to 60 tons. Some people go a little higher than that. I'm not comfortable doing that.
They're all full of air, you know?
Yeah.
Not the researchers, the titanosaurs.
They got nothing on Peru Cetus.
That's actually been downsized recently.
Yeah. That was kind of
Well, actually, then.
It
isn't that big up.
But I would say probably the this biggest safe estimate for a giant titanosaur would be something like 50 to 60 tons. That's a good sized humpback or sperm whale. But you know, blue whales, fin whales get heavier. What else? Bowheads get heavier.
Oh, bowheads do too.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's I think it's bowheads that are really heavy. I get them confused with right whales sometimes, but I think it's bowheads.
I would imagine right whales are not as heavy because they float.
Right, they're the right whale to hunt.
Yeah.
That was why they were called that. I'm not kidding. That's
Yeah,
where the name comes from.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, because after they were killed by whalers, the carcass wouldn't sink; it would float.
So they call it like right.
Yeah.
I thought it meant like something with their blowholes just on the right side, or like a
No.
little bit more on the right side. Or...
yeah,
Are they?
In toothed whales, a lot of times there is skull asymmetry, so the blowhole is symmetrical. Yeah,
and that has
but
to do with
these
echolocation, right?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
and these are baleen whales.
Like
Okay,
owls.
So yeah, I wasn't making up anything.
No,
I know my whales.
I know.
Yeah. Whale bros.
Little Pig Pony says we need a cheating whale emote. I talk about all the time how whales cheat.
Oh yeah. How so? By swimming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't need to support their own body weight.
Their ancestors crawled out of the water just so that they could go back in it.
Yeah, indecisive those whales. Can't trust them.
Yeah. Well, it's a good point, and you actually reminded me of a point I was going to make. Is just that regardless of how heavy these titanosaurs are, these giant titanosaurs, they're having to carry all that bulk around on land, whereas whales don't have to do that.
Yep.
One thing that totally blows my mind is like a giant theropod like T-Rex or Giganotosaurus. These are, undoubtedly these are bipedal animals, so walk on their hind legs only, and they're carrying around the weight of like a very, very large bull elephant on just 2 legs, which blows my mind all the time,
I kind of suspect that a lot of these dinosaur weight estimates are a bit too high, given the pneumaticity in their skeleton, especially for saurischians.
Yeah, it could be.
There's a project that I want to do with that, but I got to get a hold of some live emus for it. And that's not as easy as it sounds.
I mean, every good story starts with that. I want to do this, but I got to get a hold of some live emus. I was once on a TV show called Evolve, and I had to do a segment in a pen with about 20 live emus.
Oh.
Yeah, one of them pecked the camera, and another one pecked me.
Yeah, they're fun animals.
It's just a solid wall of mudstone back here.
Yeah.
I don't know, do we bother going deeper than that?
Oh, and let's see, hang on. Time to go to Australia. There you go, non-player, yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
Like this is just a wall.
Yeah.
I mean, we can. It'll just take a while.
Probably easier to do that. I mean, not easier, but safer, maybe?
Okay.
I don't know. Why can't dinosaurs die in a more convenient place,
Like in the Bahamas.
Yeah, Just, scooping away white sand on the beach. Like, oh, ceratopsian parietal. I'll have some of that, please.
You want to give it a wiggle test? Or
We could try it. I don't think it's going to budge.
What's the wiggle test?
see if it's going to budge with 3 guys?
No. No chance.
Okay.
Back to work. Paleontological chain gang. I like that Tennessee Ford song, 16 Tons.
Sardines aren't sitting well.
Oh no. I hope they don't try and reemerge.
Me neither.
Yeah, it's kind of like Tiktaalik. I swear, if I ever see the guy who made or discovered Tiktaalik,
Oh no, no threats, no threats.
no threats, but I'm gonna shake his hand, but say you made me drink a really nasty beer.
I actually know one of the guys pretty well.
Yeah, I know.
Ted Deschler.
Yeah, was he? Was it Your Inner Fish? There was a.
That's Neil Shubin.
Yeah.
Who I think he would remember me. He was on my grad committee briefly when he was at the University of Pennsylvania.
Oh, cool. But yeah, I remember watching that, and it was before the Tiktaalik incident. You didn't have to worry, I wasn't going to make a threat anyways. I would never do that.
I wasn't worried. Let's see, from Tone Rebellion, did you guys hear the Tiktaalik song?
Yes, I've heard it.
Oh, is it good?
It goes tick, 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 Tiktaalik, something like that.
Huh.
Sounds like a fast food restaurant jingle.
Yeah.
I would not want to eat there.
Many people are pro-Tiktaalik, but because anti-Tiktaalik.
Just food stuff named after Tiktaalik. Food and beverages, that's all. Don't name them after Tiktaalik, please.
What about like scented candle?
No, don't do that. I can already smell it.
Like Eau de Fishapod perfume.
Mid-Devonian pond water.
Yeah, pond water with a little bit of that IPA in it. Just the smell of that IPA. You gag a maggot.
And Masonic says, what part of the dinosaur is this? The best part.
It actually is.
It really is, yeah. So this is the parietal, so like the top right corner of the frill of a ceratopsian dinosaur, a horned dinosaur. So picture like a triceratops, but give it a longer frill, more rectangular, and that's what this is. So right now it's under this protective coating of plaster and burlap here.
Do
you want me to?
I say maybe keep it so it can level, or use it as a, what's the word on the seesaw, the middle part?
The fulcrum?
The fulcrum, thank you.
Yeah, okay. It bothers me because it's not aligned with the rest.
I know.
Here, I can break off the edge of it at least, without
You do
damaging it.
that would be good. Then we can move in.
Sure. Where's my awl? I want.
Good question.
I wonder if I put it away. Maybe I did. You guessed it.
Noise. That's not on the wall.
Oh, don't forget your wedding ring too.
This is
Oh,
in the
yeah.
pocket.
It's still, we might have to plaster again.
Right. Oh yeah, we hopefully will.
And you forget, your fingers were still dirty.
Let's see. Has anyone here ever worked on As Darkids? I have not, no.
No. Sorry to disappoint.
Yeah. Pterosaur workers are kind of few and far between. There's not that many of them around the world.
Yeah, there's honestly not that many pterosaurs.
Yeah. True, true. I need to get that Greg Paul pterosaur guide. The Princeton Field Guide to
not many
Pterosaurs.
pterosaur specimens, I guess, compared to...
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's a significant diversity of them now.
Oh, and someone had a question earlier that I missed, I'm sorry. And it was, did birds and pterosaurs ever coexist? And the answer is yes.
Oh, for most of the, well, maybe not most of the Mesozoic, but probably...
Yeah, more than half of it.
Yeah, let's say the oldest known birds are, let's call Archaeopteryx the oldest known bird at 150, but there's probably older. So let's say, be generous, and we'll say 160. So for almost 100 million years, birds and pterosaurs coexisted because birds originated, again, ballpark, around 160 million years ago, and pterosaurs went extinct 66 million years ago.
Yeah, so they were like almost, no, is it? 160 to 66.
Yeah, it's
like 100
almost
million years.
100 million years.
Yeah, yeah.
Matt, would you argue that Archaeopteryx is more dinosaur-like than bird?
I mean, I don't really have a dog in the fight. I think it's more closely related to, I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I think the consensus is it's more closely related to birds than it is to more closely related to birds than other dinosaurs. So, yeah.
Apparently.
It doesn't have fused fingers though, like birds.
No.
Yeah,
Well,
but a lot of those early birds don't. I don't think
Wait,
Confucius
Confucius
harness does
doesn't.
either.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and nobody would argue that's not a bird.
Well, Jim was telling me that there's some reevaluation going on of Anchiornis, saying it might be a bird again.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
There are some truly bizarre creatures some of the earliest birds are very, very unusual animals. Sapiornis in particular, is a really strange bird. And Jeholornis in its own way too is pretty strange.
Damn birds, they're weird animals. You can kind of understand why, like, for centuries, people almost thought birds were magic or something. They're like, who do they fit in with? Like, they're not. Well, surely they're not reptiles.
The clue is in the feet.
Yeah, turns out they are reptiles.
Mm-hmm.
But their ideas that, oh, well, they're endothermic, they've got integumentary coat, they must be mammals.
Yeah, hematothermia, warm-blooded amniotes. That was a paper.
Oh, really?
In the 90s, yeah.
Really? In the 90s?
I think so. I think it's the 90s.
The 1990s?
Yeah, I believe so. It's either 80s or 90s, but it's called hematothermia, warm-blooded amniotes, and it's an attempt to link birds and mammals together phylogenetically.
Weird.
That, as everybody knows, didn't take.
Right. I need to look that up. That sounds, well, not hilarious, but it sounds interesting. In a slightly funny kind of way. This Juan says, how often do you guys get invited to survey a wealthy philanthropist's proposed Dinosaur Island theme park?
Oh man, I call that Tuesday.
It hasn't happened yet, but you know where to find us.
I do work at the Carnegie Museum, so I work at a museum that was funded by a wealthy philanthropist long ago. And he actually looked a little bit like John Hammond. He did.
In fact, I wonder if he was modeled after him.
Yeah, maybe
in some way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if Crichton had him in mind.
Are Richard Attenborough and David Attenborough brothers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was not totally sure. There's not like a ton of family resemblance.
It's quite the respectable clade there with the two of them. Like, yeah, shoot. Fisher has this David Attenborough sweatshirt that we've been laughing at since he got here, because it's this like stylized and very it's at once stylized but like not intentionally flattering image of David Attenborough, just like kind of looking off into the distance with a very like blank expression. It's really cool. Like, I need to track this shirt. I want to see if they make T-shirts with that. I might want to get one. Yeah. And we think that pterosaurs lived in areas that did not allow for much fossilization, like mountains or the tops of thick forests. It's probably more like they've just got really thin, hollow bones. And can we get some Dirter emotes going in the chat? About the same dimensions as, the wall of a Dirter. I told you about that this morning, right? But yeah, I don't know. They're just difficult to preserve, and they're difficult to identify in the field. Like, think about how many pterosaur bones have probably just been dug through by people doing overburden.
Sure. That's a good,
Yeah,
maybe us today.
Shoot.
Sorry, Ethan.
But, they're just... Unless you've got, like, a Lagerstätten kind of environment going on, it's, preservation is probably difficult for those critters.
Yeah. I do also like the idea of, them potentially inhabiting, areas where there wasn't a lot of... I mean, there are pretty well-documented desert-dwelling pterosaurs, from places in South America.
Like Mongolia, too.
Yeah, I think Mongolia. Definitely South America.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally think, I agree with Danny that the primary reason is the hollow, very, very delicate bones, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Some of them were living in areas where fossils weren't forming.
Lilith Martin says you guys got great hats. Thank you. I took mine off. Put it back on.
Yeah, I haven't historically been a broad-brimmed hat person in the field, but I found this one in Laramie, Wyoming, and I really love it.
Oh, so it's brand new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The mesh is nice. It makes it nice and breathable.
Thanks. Yeah.
And how often is an entire skeleton or most of a dinosaur found in one place for a museum? Or is it just a collection of bones found all around?
It's ideally, if you're going to put it together into one single mounted skeleton, it'll be, you know, dinosaurs, just one dinosaur or maybe a couple. I would say, how often is a whole dinosaur found? Almost never. When that does happen, it's almost always, well, not almost never, I guess.
It happens a lot in certain areas.
I was going to say, like, probably with duckbills and ceratopsids. I think first and foremost the southern hemisphere stuff.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, so not almost never, but only rarely, I guess would be a way to put it. And yeah, like most of the time, when you see a mounted skeleton of something, it's primarily one individual dinosaur skeleton, but it's almost always supplemented with bones from others. Sometimes real bones, occasionally, but more often, you know, casts or replicas or 3D prints from other specimens to fill in the missing parts. Because again, you know, it's not common to find a whole dinosaur.
What do you think is the most complete Gondwanan dinosaur yet found? And why is it Carnotaurus? Just kidding.
I mean,
there's probably one that's even more.
Carnotaurus is close. I would say, if you're talking like a taxon, like a species,
or like an individual specimen.
Yeah, individual specimen.
Rheonavis?
No, definitely not that. Because
okay.
there's no skull. There's no.
Oh
yeah,
shoot! Okay. It's missing the best part.
Who would be a good one? Probably one of the little guys.
Like Butryraptor?
That's pretty good, yeah. I'm trying to think of like some of those little things from like the Santana or Credo. But I don't think any of them are totally complete either. I would say in terms of a taxon, like a species, Majungasaurus cranitissimus from Madagascar would be one of the most completely known, because it's multiple specimens. Many of them are very complete. You know, I think there's very little of the anatomy of Majungasaurus, the skeletal anatomy of Majungasaurus, that isn't known. But I feel like I'm missing like some obvious ones.
Anybody from Australia really complete? Probably not.
Not really.
Winton a Titan?
No, definitely not.
Oh yeah.
What is it?
It's a little true bug.
Oh, cool.
Oh, well, he was.
Would you kill him?
No, he just fell off.
Yeah. You're trying to get him up.
Yeah. And Scrooge McCurk, most dinosaurs being venomous. I know you're kidding, but it was actually proposed that a dromaeosaur was venomous at one point.
Yeah, Sinornithosaurus.
Yeah.
Yep. And what that is the teeth looked like they were long and had venom grooves on them, and what had really happened is the dental ligament had decayed and the teeth had partly fallen out of their sockets before the animal was fossilized. So, no venomous Sinornithosaurus.
Yeah, which I guess isn't surprising that we don't have any venomous dinosaurs when you look at the EPB, the extant phylogenetic bracket.
Yeah, it's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
No venomous birds, no venomous crocodilians.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the modern diversity of crocodilia is such a shadow of what it once was. You know, it's really unfortunate for a lot of reasons that there's so few of them left. And ecologically, they're all really similar to each other.
Yeah.
Or comparatively speaking.
What's your take on the term living fossil? Do you use that term, or do you find it like not super helpful?
I don't use it. I think I think it's kind of helpful in the sense that, you know, in at least a superficial way, you know, without knowing the genetics of any of this stuff. You know, the Jurassic horseshoe crab looks a lot like the modern one, you know. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't have a huge problem with it, but I don't really use it very much either.
There was a really, really cool paper that you might be interested in that came out like a month or two ago.
Okay.
I covered this with Science Streams, everybody. I do like a weekly crossover when I'm back home.
Oh, nice.
With a geneticist friend, where we go over new papers. But it was looking at gar.
Okay.
So it's thought that, what is it? I think spotted gar and alligator gar, they're different genera.
Okay.
And they're thought to have diverged back in like the early Cretaceous or the late Jurassic.
Okay.
But today, they are so incredibly genetically similar that they can actually interbreed in the wild, and they frequently do. They hybridize.
Really weird.
Because they diverged like, you know, 150 million years ago, maybe.
No, I hadn't heard that. That's
so
amazing.
The idea behind that is like, you could call them living fossils, and they just have an extremely slow rate of evolution, it seems. And they've got huge genomes too, and that might be part of it. Might like slow down rates of mutation or something like that.
Huh.
But yeah.
No, I had no idea. That's amazing.
It's weird stuff. Yeah. Doing some quarry yoga here, trying to find a good pose to be able to clear this. This is uncomfortable.
You okay?
Yeah.
What happened?
No, just like shifting weight and falling over. There we go. Nick's got it. Yeah.
Nick's getting frustrated.
Thinking of Tiktaalik IPA. I have nothing against Tiktaalik, just the brand, foods, whatever named after him.
Just beer.
Just beer.
Named after him. Like as if there's only one.
That was custom made.
Darpo says, have you heard they are bringing back Walking with Dinosaurs?
Yes.
Not only have I heard that, I'm a little salty about it.
Oh yeah?
Did I tell this to you, Matt?
I don't think so.
So last summer, after I finished up work with Jim in Doling's Bowl in Utah, I was supposed to go back out to Josh Lively's crew, to their Ankylosaur site.
Okay.
For like a month, and live stream every day and all that. But the BBC film crew was out there.
Oh.
And they had like an exclusive media contract.
Yeah. Oh.
So they told us like no photographs even anywhere at the site, like no personal photo, nothing at all.
This is at Josh's site?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't get to go. It's like if I can't stream, I can't pay the bills, and so I couldn't be out there. So yeah. Yeah. But I'm sure it'll be cool.
We'll do our own Walking with Dinosaurs. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be doing some very strained walking with a dinosaur when we bring this back to down to the vehicle.
Yeah, I guess I could try to do a Tiktaalik impression. Just sliming out of a pond. Maybe puking after drinking the water.
If they made a Canthostega flavored beer, would that be better or worse?
Probably worse.
Okay.
Probably worse. I mean, like, it feels like they just grabbed the poor guy and wrung him out and took all his slime. That's just awful. And then they just dipped him back in and probably did it again.
Like a hagfish?
Yeah.
You guys seen that thing where that truck carrying all those hagfish tipped over on that road?
No.
It's just this enormous sheet of slime.
Why would you
they had to close the road.
Why would you be carrying hagfish?
I think people eat them up in Scandinavia.
Wow.
So I think this is somewhere like the Pacific Northwest. There was like a hagfish fishery.
Wow.
And they were going to be imported to Denmark or Finland or somewhere like that.
No thanks.
But yeah.
I mean, I'll drink Tiktaalik beer, but I won't eat it.
You're nasty.
But yeah, you can look that up, chat. See if you can find pictures of hagfish slime road closure. That'll probably get it for you.
Yeah, slippery when wet.
Oh, and Charlie Striking says, "Oh, don't blame us for the hagfish. Is it not the Finns or the Danes? Who is it who eats hagfish?" Yeah.
Wasn't it a couple years ago
Not
a truck
me.
tipped over and it was full of monkeys?
Oh, I don't know.
Truck tipped over full of monkeys?
Yeah, something like that. And a bunch of monkeys got out. That was during COVID, I think.
I mean, I think that happens probably not infrequently.
Planet of the Apes is starting.
Yep.
Starring TikTok.
And it's Koreans who eat hagfish? Interesting. Okay.
No, thank you very much.
Sorry, the Podbutt says, Dane here, never heard of someone eating hagfish here. I apologize. I had some alternative facts which did not comport with reality.
That'd be nasty.
Yeah. And Peachy Momo says, can I come help dig? Maybe.
It might make it go faster.
No.
Maybe
we're
bring
done.
us some mimosas. Yeah, or some samosas too. You know. Either way would be really nice. Yeah. And Henny says fossil hunting in Antarctica is hardcore. Matt's poor freezing hands.
Yeah.
I mean, you went there in summertime, so.
I did. Yeah.
So it's not that cold.
No.
I never got frostbite in Antarctica, but I came pretty close.
Yeah. And what were daily temperatures like, even in the summer?
It's not that bad, honestly. I mean, like, I would say the average would be like high 30s, low 40s Fahrenheit.
Uh-huh.
Occasionally we get days in the 50s. Those are glorious.
Nice.
In fact, those are almost always the days where I'm like using a pickaxe. So I like get down to my thermal underwear top and my pants, you know, so it becomes this like really terrible strip show. Yeah, like, again, probably average of 30s during the day, 20s at night. The only thing that's not very nice about that is that because it's hovering around freezing, you know, for the international audiences, 32 Fahrenheit is 0 Celsius. You guys probably knew that already, but
USA,
so
USA,
America. The problem with that is that the puddles will melt during the day and freeze at night. So what happens a lot of the time is you'll be hiking around looking for stuff, and you'll step into a puddle or a bank of snow or something, your boots get all wet, and then at night they freeze, which is really great, and then you get to put on frozen boots in the morning. It's so much fun.
Is it true that when you get down to the base there, that there's like compulsory viewings of the film The Thing?
Well, so we never work out of a base. We actually work out of a field camp. I have never seen The Thing, actually.
I haven't either. I don't think I'd like it.
I don't think I'd like it in that place.
You know what I did see though was Godzilla versus The Thing.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. It just turns out to be Mothra.
I think we had gone all stream without mentioning Godzilla so far, but
Oh, I ruined it.
no, it's okay. I love Godzilla too.
It's good.
We did watch one time. We watched the Werner Herzog documentary. It's something called like
with the penguins.
Voices from the End of the World or something.
Yeah. The penguins. They are going mad.
Yeah, my favorite is when he asked the scientists if they had just made a great discovery, and they kind of look at him and blink. Is this a great discovery? They're like, yeah, whatever, bro.
I don't know, the narration for that seemed awful, sensationalistic. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, I think it is. Well, I mean, remember that this is the same guy that brought you Grizzly Man about Tim Treadwell.
Oh, I still need to see that. Yeah.
Scene, well, there's a scene at the end where Werner Herzog thinks that the tape of the audio recording of Tim Treadwell and his girlfriend getting killed by a grizzly bear.
Oh, it's a girlfriend too?
Yeah, yep. Getting killed by the grizzly bear is too hardcore for the viewers. So he just listens to it himself, and then you get to watch his reaction. It's a strange thing.
Flagellocaudatin asks, how would a paleontology student from the UK go about joining a dig abroad?
I mean, honestly, many people will take volunteers if you can pay your own way.
Yeah.
And honestly, by pay your own way, a lot of times that means get yourself to the locality. Because honestly, food in the field is typically not extravagant or glamorous or expensive.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, a lot of times people are happy to have the help. I think especially if you have outdoor experience or prior field experience, or, I mean, again, it doesn't have to be paleontology experience. It can be, experience. I mean, that's ideal, but it can be experience in other sciences. It can be just somebody who likes the outdoors a lot, who goes camping a lot. Honestly, the thing that I find the most difficult about field work is not the work itself. It's the just sort of living outside and
getting grit in your eyes.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
hours
Just
of the day
kind
and
of
night.
having to deal, just not having any real shelter for quite a long stretches of time. I'm
Slowly becoming feral.
Yeah, exactly. I'm getting old, but I like to have a shower every day, or at least one. And so for me, one of the biggest struggles is just not feeling feeling angry that I'm dirty and disgusting.
Yeah. I'm probably not going to get a shower the whole time that I'm out here. That's a month.
That's crazy.
And that's not the longest I've ever done in the field without a shower.
I've done that too, but it's usually in Antarctica where it's cold.
Yeah.
And you don't have to wear a ton of sunscreen a lot of the time, and or you're already so bundled up that the sun isn't really a threat,
Yeah.
That's one of the things I hate is suntan lotion on myself. Just this pile
just
of
film
pile
of it over time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Combat showers with wet wipes. That's exactly what I do, Jonesy the cat. Absolutely. Every night.
Likewise, likewise. But it doesn't beat the real thing.
No, for sure.
Well, just like Jonesy, I grew myself like a cat.
There you go, yeah. 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 Or sleeping on the ground, yeah. Although I've graduated to sleeping on a cot.
Oh, nice.
Ever since I woke up with that rattlesnake on my chest that time. Told myself, I'm going to get a bigger tent, get a cot.
Have you has Chat found out about the rattlesnake on
I think I've told that story
Okay.
before,
Well,
yeah.
you should tell it again.
Yeah. This is back in 2015. I was working on the American Prairie Reserve out in the Hell Creek Formation. And it was a really, really cold night. And my tent had a couple of holes in it from a hailstorm a couple nights prior to that. And so I just wake up really groggy, and then it feels like there's a plastic snake on my chest. And so I'm just kind of half awake, and then I'm like, oh, it's got to be one of those bull snakes. And so my laundry bag was right there next to my sleeping bag. And so I just kind of shift over, and then the snake flops into the laundry bag, and then I cinch it up. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go take it down the road.
When did you realize, when in this process did you realize it was a rattlesnake?
When it started rattling when I picked it up.
Oh, okay. Oh, after you had it
After
in the bag?
I had it in the bag,
oh,
yeah.
No way, okay.
Yeah. It was, well, no, maybe I knew before, but it was looking at it. Maybe I cinched up the bag first. And
okay.
it was hard to tell in the dark, though.
Yeah, sure.
It was really early morning, and I didn't want to freak out my crew chief. I'm not sure if he even knows that this happened, actually.
Who was leading it?
It was Denver Fowler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just walked it down the road. It was a really, really cold morning. So I went and tried to find a rock to put it on that might still have some residual warmth from the day before. And I just, kind of opened up the bag and flopped it onto there, and then walked back and got back into the tent because I was so cold. It was kind of like this morning, just uncharacteristically cold. We had a big cold front come in, and that snake was just looking for some warmth, Yep. It happens. Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to know more about dinosaurs, says Hannies. There you go.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. No, I really like snakes, so I'd never intentionally harm a snake. Yeah, I know some people don't like snakes, and frankly, I think those people are crazy. But, to each their
My
own.
friend doesn't like snakes. My crazy friend doesn't like snakes. Is he crazy?
No, just ignorant. See, your crazy friend never heard of.
The food chain.
Snakes are lovely creatures. I agree, Rahab McGowan.
Yep, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
There's a ball python at work that I absolutely adore.
Oh, nice.
So I hope nobody buys her, because I'll be really sad.
Buys
Actually,
her?
I hope somebody buys her.
Oh.
I work at a
In the
pet
gift
store.
shop?
I work at a
Oh, I
pet
thought you meant at the museum.
store. No, my part-time
Nice.
is at a pet store.
Yeah.
So the ball python's gorgeous. She's really nice. Actually, is the nicest thing that we
Oh.
have.
I heard they can be real, like, almost affectionate.
Yeah. And I didn't. Well,
Towards mice.
I didn't. I
Give
never,
them a hug.
I never owned a snake, but I realized that she was shedding and her eyes glaze over.
Yeah.
They don't, they don't have eyelids or anything. And apparently they get really aggressive
When they're shedding?
Yeah, when they're
'cause
shedding because they can't see.
They can't defend
Oh.
themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody at work was really, confused as though why the snake didn't come after me. I'm like, well, I know how to properly handle a snake. And then just start grabbing it and throwing it around.
Yeah.
Definitely a cutie pie. She's about that big.
Cool.
Yeah, and is this a cast? No, this is a field jacket, which is the protective plaster and burlap coating, like a cocoon that we put around the bone in order to stabilize it
And
so
wait
we
for
can
it
take it
to
out.
slowly pupate into a real dinosaur.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to brood over this and keep it warm with our body heat.
Uh-huh. Yep.
It's Matt's turn tonight.
Great.
You want to maybe try to get this out?
I can try. Yeah.
Okay, because the other one just kind of plopped off. At the other side.
Yeah, Danny, how far should we?
Let's take a look. I mean, once it starts to actually wobble, then we're nowhere close.
Really?
Yeah, it's not even budging. It'd be really nice if we had some big shims. We could just go. But
Maybe a rock saw. That would be
I don't know how you get a rock saw in
Deploy
there.
a rock saw here.
like right here, solve our problem.
It'd be it's way too narrow. It wouldn't fit. Yeah, I feel like you could take that in a lot further, Matt. If it's, I feel like that's doable. Do you want to borrow the awl again to?
Honestly, I'm making faster progress probably like this.
Nice. Yeah, I'm getting way down deep under there. Let me get some perspective over here.
I think that if we could get just back here and down.
Can I trade places with? Can I go where you were right there, Nick, and then work in? Yeah, I might be able to make some progress there with the awl, using like a chisel. I'll give it my all.
Yes.
Boom.
And put those on the Amazon wish list. We'll get them for you next time, says Miss Capri Cal. That's a deal.
What, the rock saw?
Yeah.
You know what rock saws are? I think
It's
I
like
think
a
they're expensive.
yeah, about $1,000. Maybe $1,500 for a good one. And Jim says GeoTools in Brigham City makes great shims.
Okay.
Wow, we should have stopped in Brigham City. Let's see here. Oh yeah, nice.
Are you going after the big chunk?
Maybe not this instant, but
Okay.
I will. We got like a sandstone-y layer in here. You
Yep.
see this?
Yeah, Nick was encountering that too.
Huh. Yeah. The paleontologists must keep their fossil warm for at least 3 days until it's ready to hatch. Yep, exactly. And Hair Trips, thank you for the raid. Welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. Thanks for joining us. And Henny says, what percentage of dinosaurs fossilized? About 0%.
I mean, a little more than 0, but not much more.
Very close to it, yeah. Fossilization seems to have been a very, mostly rare event, but, you know, a lot of dinosaurs over a lot of millions of years, so, you know, even rare events, like Matt was saying with
Given enough time,
yeah,
even
yeah.
rare events become common enough.
Yeah. And is today the day it's flipped? We're hoping game over, but we'll see. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna put some. Well, no, I don't really need some of this. Do you encounter many tarantulas in camp? I've never seen a tarantula in the field. No.
Me neither.
We get scorpions out here.
Did see a pretty big one.
Yeah, yeah, we did. That's the biggest one I've ever seen. Was that one that we saw, the yellow one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but never any tarantulas. No. The tarantulas are cool, but I'm not trying to get close to them. And Raven the Regal, yeah, we got a satellite dish right down there. That's what we're streaming with at present. And, oh, it's already 6:20. No sign of Ethan.
He's not picking us up until we get this done. He's probably got a trail cam on us.
He's just watching the stream. Sitting in town,
Like
drinking a milkshake.
Yeah, yep.
Cackling to himself. And Pichu Pichu Momo says, how do the bones get found in the first place? We do what we call prospecting. So once you know you're in the right kind of area where you've got rocks of the right age and the right type to find dinosaurs in, then basically you walk along, you look at the ground, and you look for hints of bones that are eroding out. And then you follow those in, try and find the source, and if you're lucky, you've got an associated skeleton in there. Yeah. And how far is the site from the nearest town? It's more than 1 mile and less than 1,000,000 miles. That's all I can tell you, sorry. Yeah, we're trying to keep a low profile out here because we don't want poachers or vandals or bandits or marauders or raiders.
Brigands?
Brigands, yeah.
Pirates.
Privateers, you know. Yeah.
Ontogeny.
It's more than a 5-minute walk, less than a week's drive. There you go, Charlie's Dragon. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, or underpants gnomes. There you go. We don't want them finding this site either.
Right.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Is Mandy over at Turtle Mill?
I hope so.
I saw her sitting over here for some reason when Ethan was here.
Uh-huh. And Harry says, if you're stealing from paleontologists, you're really bad off.
Yeah.
True.
You must have heard the part about the economic part we talked about before.
Yeah. Here's the good one. Here's mine. Batter up. Nope. It's a tricky thing. I could swing this under there if we were just remove this, but then we've got a nail there. We'd have to.
I can take that out. I mean, it would be a break from doing this.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about the nail though.
I know, but I can follow it down and just pound it in as I go.
Yeah. Do you want to do that, and we'll switch with you for now?
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. You seem eager for a change of scenery.
It's a difficult angle.
Yeah. I'll take a whack at it. Astro Banshee says, right now you guys look like dentists digging out a giant tooth. I've never gotten that one before.
I like it.
Well, probably not as well paid as dentists. I'm certainly not.
Me neither.
I'm not buying a boat anytime soon. Maybe a rowboat if it's
I have a
got
kayak.
a lot of holes in it. What's that?
I said I have a kayak.
Oh yeah, I used to have 2 kayaks.
Nice.
Inflatable ones. They were like 60 bucks
okay.
each.
Uh-huh.
Intex. They're pretty good.
Yeah, yep. I've seen
And I
that,
think I forgot them when I moved out of my apartment. I think I left them in the closet. I feel really stupid about that. But they weren't super expensive, so. I find I really enjoy kayaking.
Love it.
But with those ones, since they're inflatable, they kind of sit on top of the water instead of like cutting through it. And so every time you paddle, the nose goes like this, back and forth
so
a
they
little
don't
bit.
track very well.
Not really. It's got a skeg on it, but it's not a very big one.
Andy has an inflatable paddle board that she really likes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, 2 kayaks, big spender, yeah. Total of like $110 there. One of them did get a hole in it though.
Oh yeah, that's I've never gone inflatable because I'm afraid of that.
Yeah.
Especially with a lot of fish hooks around.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's cool. I lived like 1 block from San Francisco Bay.
Oh, that's cool.
Back when I lived in the apartment, so yeah, I didn't take advantage of that as much as I would like to have with the kayak, but I don't know. I'm also slightly hydrophobic. It's like being out there by myself in a kayak.
Yeah, in the San Francisco Bay when there's like sea lions around and stuff, and you
Yeah.
have a kayak, I'd be terrified of great whites and other things. I mean, I know the chances are minimal, but
Well, shoot, when I was a kid, I was always told that there are no great whites in the San Francisco Bay.
and
And I would read that in shark books and
true?
stuff. Then I think it was in like 2013 or 2014, there was this security camera footage from one of the ferries that takes people to Alcatraz Island.
Yeah.
And so it's just there on the back of the boat as the boat's docked at Alcatraz, and there's just this eruption out of the water, and you have this white shark that breaches with a seal in its jaws.
Wow.
And then splashes down, and there is just blood everywhere. It's incredibly dramatic, and it's like, you know, captured on the security cam footage. So the first time I saw it, I'm like, this can't possibly be real.
Right.
But as I'm watching it, there's all these people who run over to the railing, and they've all got like camera phones out.
Yeah.
And they're all like filming it. And so I said, if it is real, I should be able to find multiple angles of this.
Right.
And they exist. It was real.
Okay, wow.
And there were news articles about it too. And it was like, I think like 2 weeks before they were going to have the annual October Escape from Alcatraz swim, where there's like 1,000 people who swim from Alcatraz back to San Francisco.
I feel like somebody else told me this too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they didn't cancel it. They still had it. But they had like people in kayaks with like, I think they had like shotguns.
Spotters and stuff. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm getting that mixed up with Jaws. That scene with all the yahoos with their
Oh
cherry
yeah,
bombs.
they go on like a shark hunt kind of, don't they? Or am I thinking?
Yeah,
something
yeah,
else?
yeah. Yeah. And there are sharks in the bay too. Yeah, Miss Caprical. Yeah, leopard sharks, 7-gill sharks, 6-gill sharks, and apparently Carcharodon carcharias, white sharks. They're there.
Floors. No way.
What's that?
Triceratopsaurus. No way.
Yeah.
Snail is
And
going in at an angle. I think whoever put it inside.
That's how they'd move.
and let's see. It's not a true dig until someone shows up in a flanny.
Flannel.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Chat commenting on my drip again?
That's some geology chic right there.
Is that does drip mean like clothing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, rate my drip, chat. Is it fire?
Yeah.
That's
Stunner
how you
Alpha
speak to
says,
those young'ums.
is that the Apple Ultra watch you got there? This? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No, I can't afford Apple products. And Pfeiffer John says, this is cool. Triord says, hey to you too. Welcome to Paleontologizing. We're digging up a horned dinosaur here.
We are paleontologizing at this very moment.
We are, indeed. You're watching it happen. Or maybe you're listening while you're doing the dishes or something. Either way, glad you're here.
You must have a really great mic on your camera to for that to pick us up, and it's not.
It's pretty killer, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I'm not even speaking loudly, and it seems like people can hear me.
Yeah.
That's bad.
What's that?
You can't mumble anything then.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. The guy that made the TikTok beer is definitely listening.
Just seething right now.
Brewmaster at Rheingeist. Yeah.
No, they just do better. That's all. Just don't use Tiktaalik in your ingredients.
Do better, and then you won't have to face this withering criticism.
Nick, you're the only guy who just didn't like it.
No, I mean I don't know. I think I haven't found anyone that thought it was incredible either.
Yeah, it was.
I mean I thought it was fine.
Nah, I'd rather have tar.
La Brea Stout.
Yeah. That sounds good though. I'll have that.
All the flavor of liquid asphalt.
Yeah, and dead animals.
Decayed ground slough.
Yep. That's that je ne sais quoi.
What ground slough would have smelled like?
I'm gonna guess not
Rancid.
great. Not great for 2000, Alex. What is not great for 2000?
Pass me my sunglasses over there, Matt. They're just to your right.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm gonna protect my peepers from these flying rocks. Airborne geology. Have you ever gotten to prospect from a helicopter before?
In a sense, like looking for outcrop.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Antarctica.
Nice. That's so cool.
Kind
That's
of-
got me
kind-
beat like
kind
1,000
of in
times over.
Greenland too, although we didn't really. Greenland was more like when we rode in helicopters in Greenland. It was more like to just get to places.
Yeah.
This is exactly when I'm going to find a bonus when I don't want to.
Mm. There actually already is a La Brea Stout. Really, Harry?
Huh.
Wow.
What do you think about that concept, Nick?
I don't know. I gotta try it.
Yeah?
Okay,
If,
alright.
if it's tastes like.
On a scale of zero to Tiktaalik beer.
How hyped am I? Or like.
No.
Just
Like,
how-
how would you rate it? Like,
I don't
I guess
know.
you haven't tried it yet.
Yeah,
so,
I guess before ratings, I'm gonna give it, since it's a stout, I'll give it maybe a 6.
Okay, good. That's promising.
Two Tiktaalik.
I mean, they probably. Of course, it's a stout because it looks like tar.
Yeah, if I see
Pick
some
up on that
fur
right
chunks
away.
in there or something, I'm gonna have to complain to your
Oh,
manager.
I got a chunk of dire wolf.
Yeah,
There's
they
a-
would have tasted like
There's
crap.
there's a mega sloth tooth in here.
More Gomphotherium residue. Actually, were they yeah, Cenozoic mammals, huh? Were Gomphotherium still around in the Rancho La Brea, or did they?
I can't remember when they go out, but I don't think they're in North America by then.
Huh.
I could be wrong. I'm not. This is definitely like me
Gondwana and
guesstimating.
yeah.
Yeah, but they're around in South America, I think, till I want to say about 12, maybe 1,000. Where's Jim with his computer? Look this stuff up.
Yeah.
Jim, bail us out here.
Stunner Alpha says, I'm surprised to see you aren't using gloves. Is there a reason for that? I took them off to do some other stuff earlier. I was mixing plaster. Also, I've got all these cuts on my hands from not using gloves. So that means when I put the gloves on, it's painful. so it's a chronic problem.
Kind of
and
it's chicken and egg thing.
Yeah. The chickens just keep laying eggs and we just keep getting more chickens.
I had a professor tell me that there's a simple answer to what came first, the chicken or the egg.
Okay, what was...
Oh yeah, I know this answer.
It's the egg.
Because critters have been laying eggs for...
Eggs evolved first.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you interpret that literally. Like,
Yeah, he really sucks the joy out of stuff.
no, I mean, like, yes, of course.
No, that's my standard answer for it. It's like critters have been laying eggs for a billion years.
Mandy too, and then I'm like, well, yeah. Anyway,
Well, but you gotta
Get into
specify a chicken egg.
Right.
Chicken.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the chicken egg.
Chat will be excited to know that eggs are my least favorite food.
Is this
least
your-
favorite.
They're actually not going to be excited to know that, but yeah.
Is this
I don't
your
like eating eggs either.
Tiktaalik equivalent?
It is, yeah.
TikTok-
No,
Tiktaalik eggs?
my mom fed me eggs too early when I was a kid, and I like the crocodile part of my brain can't even tolerate them now.
I love eggs.
Oh, Jim has got opinions on gloves in the quarry.
Okay.
He says, hate gloves in the quarry. Only for picking and shoveling. Like, only use them for picking and shoveling. That's like a rule when we're in Utah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No gloves in the quarry unless you're plastering. Because Don DeBlue insists on using like
rubber
big dish gloves.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
The Patagonians do that too.
Oh, don't tell him that. He'll never forget that.
Yeah, I
just
learned
got
this in
a
Patagonia.
sick tan line going on. These are not gloves, it's just a sick tan line.
Yours are just very bruised. That's why they look so
Yeah,
black.
they're really pretty. I was punching the rocks earlier.
What does Jim think about this variety of glove where you have some manual dexterity because you have exposed fingers?
Oh. That's a great question, actually, yeah. Yeah, Jim, what are your feelings on mostly fingerless gloves?
And have you tried them before you judge?
Did Jim have the Tiktaalik IPA? Was he there?
I mean, we can ask him.
Jim, let me know if you had the Tiktaalik IPA at SVP last year. And please let me know your opinion on it. I can't be the only one.
Tasted like the water he crawled out of.
I can see that on the shirt.
There's probably more other people besides Jim that went to SVP last year on the chat. We can ask. We can put Can
Maybe,
you do,
yeah.
Can you do like snap polls in Twitch?
You can? Yeah, but I can't really do that on my phone. Or at least
okay.
I don't know how to do that easily.
Tiktaalik IPA, yay or nay?
Right. So yes, this question goes out to the entire chat. Now we're going to ask you a question. If any of you were at the Cincinnati SVP, did you try the Tiktaalik IPA that they gave away on the first night? And if so, what did you think of it?
They give it away for free?
Yeah.
Wow, beers are usually like $11
No,
at
well, it was
conferences.
special brewed. See, this is
Yeah.
why I also think Nick's hatred of this is misplaced, because you just have not been to enough SVPs and paid like exactly like $11 for like Budweiser.
Yeah.
You know, if they're gonna give me a tall boy IPA, like, you know, microbrewed double IPA, I don't care.
That's
Like,
a sad
it's
excuse.
Yeah.
free.
Well, that's why it's free. Yeah?
The best tasting beer is the free one.
Yeah. That makes no sense.
No, you're right, it doesn't. But
Also, you had to give a ticket.
well, yeah, but you got a free ticket. The ticket, yeah. I mean,
I mean, who wanted the
didn't-
second one? I don't know. But
I actually had 3 of them.
what?
Yeah.
Matt, that's
Because
crazy.
I inherited 2 people's tickets.
Nice.
I think, actually, now that I think about it, I think I got one because a couple that I know who goes to SVP tried, they got one and they didn't like it. So they gave me the other one.
Who are these people? I need
Oh.
to
It
interview
was,
them right now.
Judd and Gene Case.
Yeah. I'll make a paper about it. Do not use prehistoric
It's funny.
animals.
It's actually funny that now that I think about it, I think that's why I had more than one. It's because people didn't like it.
Yeah, I have pictures of me throughout the entire night with this thing in my hand, and I just could not stomach it.
Are you getting any responses to my question, Danny?
Mostly people just asking free beer. Like, of course I'd drink it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Until you taste it.
And a lot of people saying they don't like beer,
Oh, okay.
or that they didn't hear the questions.
The question was, were you at the Society of Vertebrate Paleontology meeting in Cincinnati in late 2023? And if so, did you try the Tiktaalik beer that they gave away on the first night?
Oh, Jim answered the question. Oh, let's see.
Let's see, Jim.
Thank you. He said probably be okay. No Tiktaalik IPA.
Okay. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
That was a less strident answer than I was expecting.
It sounded like a little bit of a poem. It'll probably be okay if you try the Tiktaalik.
No.
No, you won't be okay. I should change that. You actually just start devolving, getting gills and
Go back to the
fins.
swamp.
You start getting slimy.
Oh,
Instead
I
of you
already
being
am.
sweaty.
According to Fisher, I'm already slimy. So maybe the transformation has begun.
Yeah, because you had 4 of them.
We have an official review.
Of the
Oak-aged pastry sour ale with cocoa, vanilla, and smoked sea
That's
salt.
not Tiktaalik. It was an IPA.
Collab with Mokaya.
No.
Okay, that can't be it then?
No, it's a different Tiktaalik.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was.
So wait, there's 2 Tiktaalik beers?
I don't know.
Stay away
Yeah.
from me.
Oh man, we're gonna find this. Where is that native to? Like where?
I don't
what
know.
brewery makes that?
Harry Vetch, do you know where that's from? Yeah, a different one, I guess.
Well,
he
if
says.
it's not an IPA, then it has a better chance of standing of doing something pretty good.
I just really like something if it's really citrusy. That's like, it's an easy
Yeah,
way to
you
get
really
me
like
it.
that lime.
You like
Pilsner.
your
Oh, that
white
was
wine.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I wonder if I can get that back home. That was so good.
It was in. It's Uinta Brewing.
I don't think we have that in California, but I'll look for it.
You like your White Claws, right?
Yeah, I don't mind those. Yeah,
Okay, I seen you having a couple.
yeah.
Yeah, I like them.
That's really refreshing when it's really hot out,
Yeah.
and you just want something really light.
I think for me that would be like a Michelob Ultra or something.
Or summer shandy, like Leinenkugel.
Oh,
You don't like those?
No.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
My brother once bought us a 12-pack of those for a boat trip.
And you didn't like them?
No, I don't like them.
Oh man, that's one of my favorites.
Lemonade meets beer. Now,
Yeah.
admittedly, Leinenkugel's
I'm
does.
basic like that.
Leinenkugel's does make some good beer, I will say.
I
but
drink like a
that's-
sorority girl.
Wait, Matt, I gotta ask you.
What?
Did you have the Iron City Turner's iced tea?
No, I gave that to somebody else. I was too chicken to try it.
Really? It's
Yeah.
not bad.
Really?
I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
Casey Snort says, "Are you a Blue Moon guy?" Yeah, I like Blue Moon too.
This
Yeah.
is
Ooh,
So-
Shock top.
that one's hard. That one, I had a Blue Moon once, and that one, it was really chunky.
Chunky.
Yeah.
never heard a beer described as chunky.
Yeah, no, it was.
You sure it was a beer?
No, it was missing the any part of an orange. It really needed that. It was just straight
Oh,
up
okay.
Blue Moon. It was super heavy.
It's made with real moon rocks.
Super
Oh, really?
heavy. It's not super heavy. This is why you didn't like the Tiktaalik IPA.
No way. I don't know. At least that also was the same time when we got expired or just spoiled Iron City.
Oh yeah.
So maybe my taste buds were all messed up.
So Pittsburgh's local beer is called Iron City Beer.
Born and raised.
Yeah.
Well, not really, but
Oh, Ethan's here. He's gonna judge.
Oh, and we've got the official thing now.
Of the Tiktaalik beer.
Cincinnati Museum Center, named after an ancient fish-like creature. Rah, rah, rah.
Yeah. It's
Double
Rhinegeist.
IPA delves deep into Simcoe, Citra, Mosaic, and Talus hops to uncover layer upon layer of bright citrus
There's nothing.
and vibrant tropical notes. I would love this.
There's nothing in there about swamp water.
Yeah.
because they hid it. It's
Um,
hidden in there.
From Rhinegeist, brewery rated 3.9 out of 5.
Oh, Rhinegeist is that's actually.
I think I would
That's
love
lower
this.
than
I'll have
I-
yours next
that's
time.
lower
yeah,
than I would've
put me.
expected.
Where's that review at? Let me get a shot at.
So
it.
they did. Okay, so they must have sold it then. I actually thought it was like specially brewed for SVP, but
Yeah, you might like. I don't know. Call me crazy, but that was really nasty.
I think I would love that.
I know
mean,
what I'm
if
getting.
You like swamp water.
I know what I'm getting you for
If
your
it's
birthday.
got citrus in it, sign me up.
I know what I'm getting you
I'll
for
drink
your
some
birthday,
bog
'cause
water.
then I'll just get them all.
Here, Nick. Here you
Yeah,
go.
happy
I
birthday,
hate
Nick.
it.
Yep. No, I'll get you actual beer that you like.
Oh, okay.
But
it's like those 16 ounces of Dunkel
Uh-huh.
Hofbrauhaus. That's the.
All right, we got Easy E.
Ooh.
What's going on?
What's that?
Easy.
This is
quite
not
a
still
lip.
not even budging.
It's a nice lip.
But yeah, we see that under here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. Okay. Let's maybe get an undercut or get another layer under here.
Strip under there. Yeah. Yeah. We did this earlier, and that really helped a lot.
Undercut or
Ooh,
nice.
nice. Plaster under there. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I think.
Everyone's saying hi, Ethan.
Hi everybody.
Yeah. Wild Ethan appeared.
It's looking good.
Yeah. Thanks. I've been working mostly on that side today.
We are very close to getting this thing out. Very close.
This is really the
Trying to move it. but we
difficult
can't.
part.
I think before we make it budge at all, we should probably just get a piece under here. 'Cause
Yeah.
This is all very exposed for feet, for a full foot.
Have we got anything we could use as a shim? Any
I
scrap
mean,
metal
like
you
something
see?
to chisel underneath it.
Yeah.
Are there any long chisels up here?
I have one that's about like that.
Okay, that could do the work.
Oh.
Its blade is really narrow though. It's not like this.
Gotcha. I think we could get probably a little more burlap under this guy, and then I think we're probably good to flip if we can.
I mean, so far it's not even feeling like it wants to budge.
Yeah, but we
It's
could
still mostly connected back here. That's kind of our,
for sure.
I think that's our
our tricky part.
Yeah.
So right now Matt's
hold up.
whittling away over there so that hopefully I can get a pick under,
Yeah.
because that should do it, but yeah.
So there's no bone over here to our knowledge, so that's nice. And the bone itself is plenty of undercut over there.
Yeah.
Which is nice. That's cool. I think it's pretty safe.
What about this under here though?
Could use for sure another strip under here because
Yeah.
kind of pretty exposed face. But that could be like very quick and dirty, easy jacket. 1 or 2 strips of burlap, I think.
We just did one over here, really big one,
Nice.
with a lot of really thick goop.
Sweet. You mind if I mix up a little bit just to get this piece?
Yeah, go for it. Absolutely.
Cool. I'm trying not to lose my watch again.
Yeah. Dilly Dally says, is there a lot of competition in this field of work, or is it much more about collaboration and friendly-ish rivalry? Oh, we're all bitter rivals here. Absolutely.
I would say
The snarling
I would say
frenemies.
it's mostly collaboration and friendly rivalry.
Yeah. I do know some people in paleo who really strongly dislike each other, but that's not really like a research thing. It's mostly just like different personalities. Yeah. Although, I don't know, I guess it depends on your perspective and like, what's your frame of reference. I've heard turtle people all sing Kumbaya and all get along really nicely.
I have this kind of hypothesis on who's the most copacetic. Like, it depends on what you study.
Yeah.
Like, the more abundant your animal is, and then like the more of them there are to go around, the happier people are. Generally.
That's why paleoanthropologists all hate each other's
Right.
guts.
And to be honest, pterosaur workers don't like each other a lot of the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was not aware of this. Drama.
Notorious.
Theropod people do have a reputation for being snarly.
I think the closer you get to bird origins or bird origins of tyrannosaurs, it gets nasty.
I could see that for sure. Yeah. And Nerduino, how are you doing? Welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to have you here. That's our former NASA scientist.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He was on the science panel with me last year at TwitchCon. The Podbutt says it's straight up Martian cope out there. Oh yeah, all of us.
Good historical reference.
Who's that? Who are they?
You want a long skinny one, fat long one, or a square?
Whichever's in your right hand.
You were talking about Martian cope. You know,
think
one short, fat one, one long, skinny one.
Yeah, I think
I kind of like that. I think
I was gonna say I think Marshall's
He was a
little
bit more
heftier.
rotund, but I
Yeah.
think he was tall too. Cope was pretty lanky.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Stunner Alpha, when you get a chance later, would it be possible to give us a closer look at what you're digging or picking at? Yeah, well, there's not much to see right now because it's all enclosed in plaster. But hopefully we can get this thing flipped. And
Hopefully we still won't see any bone.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, if we saw bone immediately after the flip, that would be, you know?
Like, hey guys, we found the face, but we broke it into bits.
That'll do. Thank you.
And I thought you said Martian cope, referring to the
Oh.
terrain.
Ooh, watch out.
Yeah.
And again.
So, yeah. Think it'll get flipped soon? We'll see, Petrodactylus. We might... I don't know. Ethan, you want to get this flipped tonight, or... If we
possible.
flip it, then we're going to have to carve it down, too, and...
Not necessarily. We could just put a tarp on it.
Yeah, we could.
You guys need to come by come down. You mean to the truck? Is that right? I don't think it's.
No,
gonna
he means trim. What do you think?
Okay, it's
Yeah.
not coming home today, but I think it's
Yeah.
gonna flip today. Or we
Oh,
could,
this is really nice, Matt.
Or I could just throw a strip on and let it cure overnight. We'll flip it in the morning.
That's a really nice pedestal. It's looking pretty good. Just that part in the back is really hard to reach.
So I'll take
Yeah.
I'll take that strip you got right there. Nick. Thank you.
Yeah, with this cleared out over here, I should be able to get a paleo pick underneath.
Nice. We can get you some chisels in the morning for flipping it.
Excellent. Yeah.
There's still plenty of chisels back at camp. So.
Do you ever bring astronaut food? No, we can't afford it, honestly.
We just get human food, regular human food.
Mandy,
Can you get all that
my
junk
wife
off the
likes
top
You bet.
dehydrated meals for backpacking, but
Yeah.
Some
It's a little pricey.
Some of them are
some are
yummy.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like Mountain House is really good.
yeah, it can be. Yeah.
Not paid to say that.
This stream brought to you by Mountain House.
Not sponsored content. Were you aware that chat that astronaut ice cream is not like astronauts? It has nothing to do with astronauts.
They don't actually. eat
No.
it.
I'll take some goop, please.
I
I
don't
can
know.
get it.
I can help out.
I may have been for like backpacking or
Can you
something.
get that bucket way closer to me? Thank you. Thanks, mate.
Oh, that's a lot of plaster.
Yeah, I kind of overshot it, but we'll just use all the burlap we have to make this lip nice and strong.
We should send them some MREs.
This
We
is
actually
the-
eat really well out here at Tone Rebellion.
Ethan, if you want, I can hold that because
Okay.
this is the same problem we had before. I
Yeah.
had to get underneath and hold.
That'd be great if you could just rub that in. Yeah, we can get some stickage.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, not a good idea to have crumbs on the ISS. True.
What is that? Bacteria?
Yeah, that and it can jam the instruments and
Oh wow.
stuff like that. That's like there's that apocryphal story about how NASA spent like hundreds of millions of dollars trying to develop a ballpoint pen that would work in zero gravity, and then the Soviets just used pencils.
That's really funny.
Leave
it to scientists to overthink stuff.
But then it turns out that like graphite pencils are not a good idea because the lead can break and then it can float around and clog the instruments and stuff like that. So it was actually like a worthwhile endeavor.
Move my hand.
Yeah, I think you're good. Thank you. All right.
And yes, Fall Machine, astronaut ice cream is not really made of astronauts, despite what you may have heard.
Can we maybe just get a little more burlap ready if we have any?
Yeah, you bet.
So this doesn't go to waste. Not a ton more, but just a few more strips
We
perhaps.
have a few more narrow strips cut already.
Okay, we could use those.
Nobody wants them.
We'll go Argentina style.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe on the far side, or unless you don't have much of a lip, then we can see.
I should do it.
It's up to you.
It's not a ton. Yeah. It would just be basically covering.
Gotcha. Well, maybe in front of your right foot, because we got a big pedestal there.
Yep.
So we can get that guy. All right.
And Harry says it's a funny anecdote, but it's not true. That's what I was saying, yeah. Apocryphal story.
Nice. Sweet.
That's sticking a little better than the other side did.
Oh, thanks. Starting to thicken up a little now too, so we can get you some goop, Matt. If
Yeah, sure, I'll take it.
No worries.
someone get Matt some goop,
Thank you all.
if they'd be so kind.
I'm just gonna have the communal goop bucket right here.
Sweet. Communal goop.
Raven the Regal says, paleontologists have a strict diet of Purina paleontologist chow. It contains all the crude proteins and nutrients they need.
Yep. Everything the body needs.
Oh yeah, I work at a pet store, so I just brought everything over.
Thank you, Nick.
It's just dog chow.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Sweet. This is definitely gonna be flippable tomorrow morning.
FN Tire Guy says, so what's the process going on here? This is a sacred paleontologist ritual.
This is dinner.
In earnestness, we're putting strips of burlap soaked in plaster of Paris on this in order to help kind of cocoon the fossil, keep it from falling apart as we flip it over and then carry it down to the vehicle.
All right, the rest we'll use for
And back to the laboratory.
Okay. You gonna be here tomorrow to help flip it?
Probably in the morning, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think before lunch is definitely doable.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
Kinda surprised we
tomorrow's a
didn't get it
holiday,
done
so we
today.
can't drop the fossils off until the day after anyway.
Oh.
I just realized, so.
Oh yeah.
A new holiday. A nice, fun new holiday.
Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Do you know for sure if the BLM is off that day? Because
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Or at
'cause,
least
like,
the guy I'm trying to
tomorrow?
contact. Yeah.
the museum observed Juneteenth on Monday.
Oh.
I'm actually going
find that
to
out.
read this
Okay,
one, sorry. Kind of around this way.
FN Tire Guy
Little
says, how
lower.
much of it is still underground? Hopefully
Still
most
lower?
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we hope
That's
there's
it.
much more.
Thank you. Sweet.
Astro Banshee says, please tell me you're going
Sorry,
to
man,
stream
I
the
did
flip,
this, yeah.
Danny.
Oh, do you wanna-
I can't guarantee I'll stream the flip. That might be in the
Okay.
morning.
Alright, sure.
There we go. Beautiful.
Okay.
Thanks.
Can you post clips on Twitch?
Oh yeah.
Maybe like
Yeah.
from your phone?
Twitch clip.
Or is it just from your
I think
actual
it's from
video?
desktop. I don't know if you. I don't think you could do it from your phone. But you could also make clips really easily out of. You could just snip them out of a stream.
All right, got a
Alright,
lot of
move
goop
on.
here, man, if you need it.
Okay, good. Yes,
I
use
just
it on
want
the
to
side.
just record it and then put it on Twitch. Just like a 5-second clip of.
Yeah, you
flipping
could.
it.
I've done that before.
Oh really?
Yeah. So like my channel trailer is like that.
Okay.
And how do you flip it if it's still underground? So it's separated. There's a bunch of different bones that are all disarticulated.
Yeah. This bone is not still underground,
No.
but there might be more bones of this animal still underground.
Yeah. We hope there's most of it still under there somewhere.
But we got to move this before we can move more of the hill to find more bones, because we don't want to hurt this bone by moving this hill that the camera's sitting on.
That's
And Amber G7, sounds like you're in the right place. Welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. This is day 18 of our dinosaur dig out here in Wyoming.
Wow.
I know, can you believe
I'm starting to feel it. Oh man.
We'll have, I think 28 days total?
Yeah, or something roughly.
Yeah, 29th we're gonna pack up camp, if we're ready.
All right. Very good.
And we are gonna keep digging to see if there's more, probably until the 28th.
Yeah. Hopefully this guy's face is in the ground still.
Yeah.
We'd love that.
find them on the last day.
Yep.
Often how it works.
They always say that's when Ostrom discovered Deinonychus was in like the last hour of the field season.
Yeah. He's like, we're taking this hand today. This hand with the claws on it. Someone was saying I think he was digging with like a pencil or something, like they didn't have any tools or
Oh,
something.
did they really?
car
Did you
keys.
really take it?
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
like, we're taking this hand right now.
Wow. Okay.
Sun setting kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Who is this?
John Ostrom,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Deinonychus, Montana.
Diamond Knight.
At
And
the
the
shrine.
88th Baron. Thank you for the raid. Welcome to Paleontologizing. It's great to have you here.
Sweet. Thanks,
Yeah.
guys. Good work. All in a day's work here.
All right. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Total perfectionist when it comes to exposed burlap. I'm not going to get it all.
There we go. There's a little more goop for us.
Beautiful.
Yep.
All right. We're going to be heading back, you think?
Yeah, you guys are free to head down. I just have to go to Turtle Hill and get
Oh, right, yeah.
that unioned block and carry it down in my
Oh,
frame
that's
pack.
going to be a bear to carry.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the frame pack and ratchet strap it in.
Okay.
So I'll only need probably Fisher just to help me load it in, and then.
Okay. We've got my vehicle, so we can go.
Oh yeah, great. So then
Whenever we
I'll
feel
go
like
with
it, yeah.
Mandy and Fisher then, perhaps.
Yeah.
Unless you guys want to go together. All
That's
good.
cool.
And Baron is an IRL streamer from Ireland. Well, welcome to Wyoming, all you good folks from Ireland and other places abroad.
Wow, this is a cool fossil.
We don't really have many dinosaurs from Ireland yet. I think it's like maybe a chunk of Scelidosaurus or something. I think that might be it.
Yeah, it's not ringing a bell.
Yeah. I think it's been referred.
Like a fragmentary referred specimen.
Yeah. And what type of dinosaur? A ceratopsian, a horned dinosaur. Think like Triceratops.
But cooler and older.
Yeah.
And spikier.
I mean, we don't know what it was like personality-wise. It might have been cooler, it might have not. But it's from a scientific
Could have been a
standpoint,
real
it's
jerk.
Yeah, he might have been very unfriendly.
Probably killed that turtle.
Yeah.
I think they probably died in a fight.
Like
you know?
the
The dueling dinosaur
I like
and a
to
turtle.
dueling.
I like to think that he died.
Dueling
and just-
archelosaurs.
I
Yeah.
like to think that he died and he rolled over on it.
All right. I didn't do. It's not great, but it's
All good.
but it's fine.
It will hold.
It will hold.
Great.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna head over, and I'll see you shortly.
Beautiful. All right.
Cool.
Fossils.
Getting there.
Yeah. Coming home tomorrow with this thing.
Could have been a very problematic dinosaur. Do not look at the ceratopsian's old tweets. Well, fine work, gents. Hoping we'd have it out today, but too important to rush.
Yep, absolutely. Probably a blessing that we didn't take it in today, honestly.
Yeah. All right, looking good. I'll go ahead and wrap up the stream, I think.
Bye, everybody. Is that Barney B?
Huh?
Oh yeah,
All right.
Oh wow.
one of my visual aids here.
Is that a photo from?
No,
No, it's just okay.
He was probably about the right age, though.
Yeah.
This is probably How Quarry or something like that.
Probably, yeah.
That's cool.
That's the enormous one where they had the guy up in the bucket suspended from a scaffold, right?
Yeah.
Even has the Rhino Slayer hat.
Yeah, it is almost fifth helmety.
Yeah, that probably is an actual proper pith helmet. It's probably actually made of shola pith.
Huh.
Yeah.
I actually never knew that was where they came from.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't forget your watch.
Mr. Nobody says, do you have security to protect us? Yes.
Watch.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, not the most intimidating ever, but
anyway, let's wrap this up. Oh, and Slug Biker, yeah, we had to make sure that we really undercut this so that when we flip it, it doesn't spill out. We'll explain another time. You'll see plenty of jacket flips this summer. But,
it does look pretty good.
yeah.
Getting the
Oh, and I'll end this with a dinosaur pun from Crimson Carnothoris. My friend had to put his Chasmosaurus on a diet. He had a big bell eye.
Oh, man. You have to really know your dinosaurs for that one.
yeah, I know.
Yeah. Then campfire stream when? Probably not tonight, Miss Capri Kel, but one of these nights, I hope.
Campfire stream? You're gonna watch us all drink beer?
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I'm down with that. Like,
We did that last year. It was
Yeah.
It was fun, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, for right now, we're going to wrap this up. So let's see who else is on Twitch right now, and we can do a raid. Let's see here. Hoot House live stream. Astro Canuck. Yeah. 5, including me.
Maybe I can send Mandy back with you guys.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Cool.
We'll be just behind.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Slim Pickens tonight. Let's go raid, Mary's Milk Monsters. Mary raises goats. I know,
Nice.
not what it sounds like.
Because-
Yeah.
yeah, that is not what. Yeah, it's not what it sounds like. Yep.
Yeah.
It's like wow.
What a crazy idea, but let's make an IPA out of this.
Raid. Mary's Milk Monsters.
Ugh.
Mary's Milk Monsters.
There we go. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. Hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed watching. Hope you're inspired to learn more about the amazing history of life on our incredible planet Earth. And hope you learned something too. Anyway, thank you, Nick and Matt, for being on the stream today.
Thank you.
And yeah, with any luck, we'll be streaming again tomorrow. And we'll have this thing flipped, and we'll probably be carving it down by the time you see us. But until then, everybody, you take care of yourselves, and let's go say hello to Mary and her goats. I'll see you there. Alright, and hang on a second, I gotta end the stream. Over here.